You are watching live Newark Pilot Baseball on a steamy Wednesday night, July 18, 2012. We just got underway here from Colburn Park. I'm Harold Weber, the dog, along with my broadcast partner Dave Barnick and the rest of our team, welcoming you to Colburn Park in Newark. Got underway a little early tonight, so let's recap. We just had a couple of outs in the opening top of the first inning as we bring this action to you. Steven Canborg, designated hitter, was short to first, one out. Second batter up was Colton Beatty. He just flew out to center field. So we are underway with two outs in the top of the first as we welcome you live here on the webcast on fingerlakes1.com. We anticipate Mike Nozzolio night here tonight. Lots of people here, and we anticipate a tremendous crowd here at Colburn Park. The Ullmans are back from Carolina, so Dave Barnick, welcome once again. And Cooperstown last mired in the last place in the standings. Newark fighting for that second spot. Only a game and a half for the second spot, which is crucial as the playoffs will begin in short few weeks. Good evening. Welcome to the broadcast.
Well, good evening, everybody, and hello to you, Harold, once again. And when we last left, the Wild and Woolly won a 16-12 loss. We said Newark needed to get things going with the home cooking, and they, in fact, have done just that. 5 straight victories, hoping to make it 6 in a row tonight. And they are playing the Hawkeyes of Cooperstown, who are cellar dwellers, but coming off a win on that steamy evening one night ago.
The batter for Cooperstown is Chris Blanton, and the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out, top of the first inning, as the crowd continues to roll in here on another picture-perfect night for baseball. And the temperatures have been hot, but the good news is it's starting to cool down. They're talking like low 70s on Friday, which swing and a miss. End of top of the first. No score as Tidwell runs them down 1-2-3. You're checking out the action here from Colburn Park in Newark. We'll continue with more broadcast action after these words.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Welcome back, everybody. It's the Dog H. Weber webcasting live on fingerlakes1.com. We hope you're having a good evening. Wherever you may be checking us out tonight as we broadcast high above Colburn Park along with Dave Barnick, Chris Marcourt, Jimmy Senecropi, and our ace cameraman, Jeremy Hunt. Nothing, obviously, first inning, top of the first inning, 3 up, 3 down. Pitching for Cooperstown tonight will be the likes of Hayton Elrod. Hayton has got some information on Mr. Elrod as well. We had it here just in front of me, and for some reason, here we go. Had it here. Hayton with an ERA, a little high one, 8.41. We'll give more specifics as Ben Bostic comes up to start the bottom of the first for Newark. Obviously, the Cooperstown laid down 1-2-3 in the top of the first. Took a strike on the first pitch, as Elrod will wind and throw the pitch, and it's a grounder, hard to shortstop. Should be an easy play. Crossed the diamond, 1 out. 6-3 to open up the action. Bostic bouncing out the shortstop.
And the shortstop took the first of what I'm sure will be many trick hops tonight on that very, very hard turf from, again, we were talking about the continued dry weather a week ago, Harold, and other than a spot shower here and there hasn't been much rain since in the area, and we saw evidence of that last week.
Spot with a small S, I might add. Josh Crowd is coming up now for the Newark Pilots. It just is a very fun-filled evening. Lots of things happening on. Mike Nizzolio night, of course, here at Colburn Park. I had a chance to see Mike. We've asked Mike and his team if he'd like to come up and spend an inning or half an inning with Dave Barnick. I got some friends in the crowd tonight, so he could sit with Dave for an inning or a half an inning, depending on his schedule. We haven't heard back from their team, but if he comes up, it'd be a nice touch as well. Crowdis takes the pitch high. And the count goes to a ball and 2 strikes. 1 out in the bottom of the first, nothing. As the Newark Pilots have done something which we hopefully predicted was going to happen. We'll talk about that after this pitch. Here's a bouncer toward first. Easy play. Flips it to the pitcher. Got him. 3 up. Or make that 2 up and 2 down in the bottom of the first as the Pilots go quite easily as it went from 1 to 3.
Yeah, Newark's been hot, Harold, and they needed to. They had been slumping on our last visit, and it actually had fallen a game below 500 at 15 and 16, but have strung together 5 victories since.
Correction, not 1 to 3, 3 to 1. First baseman to the pitcher, and up now for Newark is Brent Langston, fine player for the Pilots. And by the way, we get a chance, we'll talk about the Newark Pilot representation for the All-Star game, which takes place next Tuesday night at Amsterdam, the league leaders. Here's a bouncer toward third, goes through for a base knock. So he rams it through the left side, so credit a base hit for Brent Langston. Single the left field.
Third baseman got a glove on it, but clearly that's a base hit as he had to dive just to slow it down a little bit.
Micah Easterling coming to the plate. DH tonight for the Chris Ebright Pilots of Newark. Again, we'll talk about where the standings are and what that 5-game winning streak has done for the Pilots. When we saw them lose a heartbreaker, a game that they trailed 16-1 a week ago tonight, we wondered if they were going to rebound. But knowing the Newark Pilots as we've covered a lot of their games, we knew they would have the never-say-die attitude. Pitch is low. Ball and a strike, and we were hoping, Dave, they'd get on a good W streak. They did exactly that. They have been undefeated since we were here last, 5 in a row, and their record now is 20-16 before this game tonight, and they're only a game and a half from second place, Mohawk Valley. Pitches outside. 2 balls and a strike, and Dave, I think it's a little far-fetched to think they can catch Amsterdam. Amsterdam leading by 7.5 over Newark, so I think Chris Ebright would be smart to focus on Mohawk Valley, and the reason that is, we'll talk about that. They got a strike call here, 2-2. If they can get the second seed, David, it'll be 1 versus 4 in the playoffs, 2 versus 3. They get some home field action as well.
Absolutely.
So
good
that's
point.
key. So I think the real true goal with 12 to go for Newark would be to try. Here's a bouncer to short. Ought to be an easy play. Got the bounce, throws across, and he throws it over the head of the first baseman. And everybody will move up a base.
I thought the shortstop rushed that. I know it was not a particularly hard bouncer, but I still think he had time to get set and make a good throw. And
Error on the shortstop. Colton Beatty, because he had an easier play. On the throw across the diamond over the head of the first baseman, moves the batters up now. Langston and Easterling now will be on second and third respectively. Sean Osterman now with a couple of ducks on the pond with a base hit can bring home a couple of runs here in the first inning as we bring you the action from Colburn Park in Newark. Hope that you had a good day. Hope you're kind of just getting comfortable, having a favorite beverage, checking the action out tonight, and the pitch is right down the middle with a strike. Yeah, Dave, I think he did. I think the shortstop Beatty did rush that play, and obviously he threw it too high and over the first baseman's head.
And those are the things that happen quite a bit for a team that's 10 up and I think 25 down this year.
And the pitch. Low. Ball 1. 1-1. 2 outs in the bottom of the first. Couple of Newark Pilots on base looking to bring them in. And, of course, we're talking about Brent Langston and Micah Easterling. Easterling on second. Langston on third. 1-1 count. And the pitch. Swung on. Bounced to short. They're picking on the shortstop. Crossed the diamond. Got him. End of inning, no score after 1 from Newark on the bouncer to short. We'll continue with more Newark Pilot baseball after we take this break.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, welcome back, everybody. Harold Weber, the dog, along with Dave Barnick, up in the broadcast booth high above Colburn Park in Newark. We've played one inning. We got a couple of zips. And Cooperstown, of course, mired in last place, and it does appear they're going to stay there probably. They're 17 out. They've got to make up 3.5 games on Elmira. But Cooperstown in town to play the spoiler role, which, of course, when you're that far out of it, you need to do something and win one for the Gipper, especially when you come on the road. Leading off the top of the second, Jacob Hubert. Jacob, center fielder for the Cooperstown Hawkeyes, as they've had themselves a tough year, and kind of goes that way sometimes in the world of baseball. You never know, and not like the Yankees who are just steamrolling everybody, Dave. We'll talk about them at length, I'm sure, during this broadcast. It's amazing to me. Here's a bouncer foul. Amazing to me, David. You follow baseball. The likes of Andrew Jones and Raul Ibanez from Philadelphia, they picked up the Phillies. Those guys would be hitting third or fifth in most ball teams, and they're subs for the Yankees.
The production they're getting from those
amazing
two guys in left field
amazing
during the prolonged absence of Brett Gardner has been fantastic.
Here's a shot towards short, easy play, across the diamond, got him. 6-3 out, 1 out, top of the second.
Harold, I had a nice chat with head coach Eric Coleman, and he has indeed said it's been a tough, long summer for Cooperstown. I said it must have been tough playing last night in the heat. He said, but we got to win, so it was fine. But Coleman actually was Coach of the Year a year ago. Works in the offseason as he coaches and teaches baseball to young men.
Quinn Pippin up, and here's a fly ball over the shortstop head in the center field for a base knock. Number 44 brings back memories of Derek Coleman, I believe, of SU. I think he wore 44.
But Coleman, the coach, works and lives in Michigan, but he's a California native, and this is his second year, as I said, Coach of the Year in this league a year ago.
That's amazing. Tyler Mautner comes up now for Cooperstown. Tyler Mautner is their first baseman. We've got 1 out at the top of the second. We got a runner around first base, Quinn Pippin. Tyler Mautner trying to continue to move along the likes of Pippin. As pitching tonight, of course, for the Newark Pilots, we talked about that early. Andrew Tidwell, throw over to first base, easily back. But, Mary's a big Yankee fan, Dave, and it's amazing watching them. It's almost like domination with a capital D. They're just steamrolling clubs. I mean, and, of course, the one issue that you have with the Yankees that if you follow them, and my wife's a bigger fan than I am because she watches religiously inning 1 through inning 16. I don't care if it's 2 in the morning, she'll be watching them. I go to bed at 9:30, quarter to 10, tape it sometimes, DVR it. But, Dave, what's amazing to me, the Yankees still have that, I guess, question mark. Can they produce the home runs they're producing now in the playoffs? They have proven they aren't able to do that the last couple of years. The A-Rods, the Texas, the Swishers, even the Canoes, they seem to go into a little bit of a funk during the playoffs. And keep in mind, you know this better than anybody, this is not your first rodeo baseball. You look at the best pitchers in the playoffs. And, Dave, they seem to take away the home runs for the most part. And I'll be interested to see what happens this year because it looks like they're going to coast in easily to win their division. Here's a pitch hit out toward center field. Got it on a fly, and that is a fly out to the center fielder of the Newark Reds, or the Newark Pilots, excuse me. Thinking of Newark basketball. Sean Osterman on the catch. So we've got 2 outs now in the top of the second.
Well, the Yankees is a roster built for the regular season, but they have been starting to show diversify their offense and scoring with singles. They were winning again today, Harold.
Oh, yeah, 6-0, I think it was.
During a rain delay when we had to leave to venture here to Newark. And players, everything keeps folding into their hands with all the injuries from all these other teams.
Right.
David Ortiz now in the DL.
Yeah, and he just got it from running down to first, didn't he?
Yeah, but he runs about like I did in that race against you. And the other piece, Harold, how about Soriano as a closer since Rivera went down? He's been lights out.
How about pulling out the shirt after the game? That's his trade. Love to pull out the shirt, yeah.
He doesn't show much expression
No, he doesn't.
the field, which is not altogether bad.
Well, I think when Mo was there, obviously Mo is one of the greatest relievers of all time, Mo Rivera. Here's the pitch, swung on, fouled back. Bradley Vanderglass is at the plate. We have 2 outs in the top of the second. We have a runner on first base. Nothing. Cooperstown and Newark from Colburn Park in Newark. Here on a nice Wednesday night. And a runner going down to second base. Not a chance in the world of getting him. And they threw it into center field. And Alex Pippin will move over now to third on the air. And I'm assuming they gave the air to the catcher as he threw it wildly in the center field. So we have a man on third for Cooperstown. Got a couple outs. And now Vanderglass's appearances have more of a higher scale of importance right now. And the pitch swung on. Bounce towards second. Easy play to first. Got him. Into the top of the second. On the bouncer from second to first. You're checking out Newark Pilot Baseball here on FingerLakes1.com. We'll come back with more after this.
Hi, my name is Jackie, and I think FingerLakes1.com is a great website. You can find all the videos, and you can find the podcast. So have a great time.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's one place you can get it. At FingerLakes1.com. Come on over to FingerLakes1.com. Like us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
We're back for action beginning the bottom of the second. Josh Perez will lead off the bottom of the second for Newark in a scoreless game thus far. Each team's got one hit, and each team's got one E for error. And the first pitch, faking the bunt, and it's a strike call.
Well, Newark has had different heroes throughout the course of the year. At this juncture in the season, Perez, their leading batter, I think 8th in the league.
That's impressive. And the windup and the pitch. Down the middle, strike two.
And as you were noting, the Yankees very impressive as well. And I think conversely, I don't know if you witnessed or you may have been to bed, but I was flipping it back and forth and watched the Mets bullpen blow yet another one.
Oh, they were horrible, just horrible. Foul ball down the right side, out of play. David, I mean, I've never been a fan of that team, even back in the Seaver days, Believe in 69 or whatever the heck that was. But, I mean, I just think, I hate to say it, I don't think they're much of a ball club. And last night, trailing 2-0, getting a 3-run homer, taking the lead, going to the bottom of the ninth, give up the tying run, go to the 10th, take a lead again, 4-3, and then give up 2 in the bottom of the 10th. I mean, that's work, Dave, of a Broadway theater play. I mean, sad. I mean, just sad.
During the Yankee rain delay today, Francesca, they switched to his coverage, and he was blasting their management for not securing a decent reliever, at least making the attempt, because the team has been scrappy and overachieved, and to fight so hard and then to lose so many games via the bullpen late. Although the Nationals may be headed to the World Series themselves, certainly to the playoffs.
That is amazing, that program. What a year Davy Johnson's had, huh?
He's older than us.
I know he is. And that's old. But, I mean, we'll talk about that. And the pitch by Cooperstown, pitcher, and it's fouled back.
Harold, I had the opportunity for the first time to meet owner of the Pilots, Mr. Ullman,
Good
tonight,
guy.
and as well visiting, and his name escapes me, but the president of
Jeff Cunyon.
He was here, is here in attendance as well.
Yep. And the pitch. Fly ball, right field going back. Got the catch from right field. So flying out is Perez. Fly out to right field, got a 1 out.
Here comes the third baseman.
And I think it was Sean Osterman, and I know it was Joe Landy. You had a special guest just today.
On the Dog and Paulie this morning, we had Joe Landy, and also we had Ben Bostic. And they were phenomenal young people, the kind of guys you'd like to have come home with you. Take your daughter out. They were just so nice guys. They were good guests, and we really had a good time with them this morning for an hour in our studios in Seneca Falls. And also Brian Connell, the general manager, who stayed out of camera sight and didn't want to participate. He wanted to give all the showcase to the two players, and they were excellent. And Landy bounced it to second base, up with it across to first base, easy out. So Joe bounces out to second base. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the second.
And Harold, I think is it Derek Farah?
Yeah, from Lions, New York, on the roster.
He was, who did we have recognized here? The wrestler and the mascot?
Right. Yeah, he's from Lions, New York.
Native.
Right. But Derek Farah, the Lions phenom, who, by the way, David, should have gotten first team All-State, and for some reason he got second team, which I did at one of my normal commentaries, ripping the state apart for not getting him on the first team. The kid had 37 wins in Section 5. That he compiled. Oh, he got a hit by pitch, taking the easy pass as Chris Doyle took one in the buttocks area, and he seems okay as he moseys down to first base.
Of course, the last couple of games we did, that started a series of 3 or 4 hits batsmen within a couple of innings.
Yeah, but back on Farah, I think he has the record for Section 5 wins as a pitcher. Phenomenal leader, phenomenal pitcher. I mean, I don't know what else you can expect from a stat sheet and not get first team All-State. This kid, you and me have been following the sports trail for many, many, many decades. I got to tell you, David, he's one of the best. How he did not get first team considerations beyond belief. But I guess, as they say, it's in the hands of the voters. Pretty disappointed, and I know he probably would never admit that he's disappointed because he's a very humble, shy guy.
Plus, it was a great recognition, nonetheless.
True.
They do pick kids from all over the state.
I agree.
And where's he taking his talents to?
Well, he's on the roster here for Bob's team. He's a member of the team here. Farah has been picked up by the Pilots.
Collegiately, I was wondering.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure what his plans are, but I asked Bob before the game tonight. Oh, FLCC. Okay, we just got word. But he's an outstanding talent and a great young man, and we wish him nothing but the best. As Barker now, almost got him.
By the way,
close call.
Speaking of really good guys, the assistance that the folks here in Newark give us
they're
from
tremendous.
the Pilots, first rate.
Phenomenal.
Top-notch.
Yeah, I told Brian that this morning on the air. And the pitch outside. 3 balls and no strikes. We're in the bottom of the second. Newark has a man on first base with 2 outs. So Cash Barker trying to cash him in with a little knocker in the gap would bring him home. And we got a strike call, 3-1.
Harold, I was looking at the record of Newark, or their schedule past, and they haven't played Cooperstown since playing them for 3 consecutive games back in the middle of June.
Wow. And the pickoff attempt, as Doyle will stay put, got away from the first baseman, Tyler Maltner, but wasn't far enough, and we're looking at a Tide commercial on the likes of Doyle now at first base, who took a dive back to the base and got himself a little dirt to show for his wares tonight. Nice crowd on hand here on Mike Nozzolio night. State Senator in the house, and then we have a walk recorded to Cash Barker. So base on balls, putting runners on first and second.
In fact, Harold, Cooperstown has only won 10 games, but in the first 3 games against Newark, they defeated the Pilots 2 out of 3. So Newark may be the only team they have a winning record against. And, of course, Newark wants to keep their winning ways going and even the season series with a win tonight.
Well, Ben Bostic on the plate with a couple of guys on base for Newark, and the first pitch is outside. 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. No score. Newark a little minor threat working with Doyle on first base. We got Barker getting hit by a pitch, and now we had the leadoff man, Ben Bostic. Ben, of course, went to St. John Fisher. Originates out of Atlanta. Big Braves fan. His family was. 2 brothers, a sister. Got the whole story this morning on the air. Nice young guy, nice young man. And, of course, Joe Landy from Rhode Island says he likes to play all sports, and he plays this sport of baseball pretty darn good, as Bostic does as well. And the pitch to Bostic. Line to first, and the out is recorded. Line shot, so the inning ends. A threat, but no score after 2. We'll be back with more action here on FingerLakes1.com.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, it's our privilege as we head into the top of the third. No score in this game. Cooperstown will send their 8, 9, and 1 hitters up to the plate to face, so far, a very impressive Andrew Tidwell. And it's my privilege and our pleasure to bring a Seneca Falls native and or Fayette native, I guess, but Minders Academy graduate and our state senator for a good many years, fortunate for us in the area, Senator Mike Nozzolio. Mike?
Oh, Dave, what a great, a pleasant surprise to see you here tonight, you and Harold, the broadcast giants of the Central Finger Lakes. Glad to hear that you're both broadcasting this great baseball experience.
Well, they dragged me out of retirement to do a little of this, and it's been a great experience, and I'm so impressed with the facilities here in Newark, and how nice of you to do your annual free ticket night for not only here in Newark. I know you usually do that in Auburn and as well. And
Auburn,
Geneva.
Webster, Newark, and Geneva. We're going to be having a nice week. That anyone interested in coming out to any of those sites, Webster, Geneva next week, Auburn tomorrow night, please just contact my office. Those tickets are available, and it's something I love to sponsor. I love to support our local baseball teams, our local baseball endeavors. This collegiate baseball league is just a great opportunity for young people to participate. I took a show of hands. Actually, 3/4 of the rosters are from out of state, which tells you a lot about the quality of baseball here, in that this league is drawing talent from all across colleges, all across America.
Yeah, what's really nice about it is I looked at the rosters. You have kids from all over the country, or young men, on each team, but you also have a half dozen or so players from their local area. We have some players here. There's a Clyde player, a Lions player on the roster, players from Rochester, St. John Fisher College. Let me ask you the most important question, straying from baseball for a little bit. How's the golf game?
What a great catch. What a great catch, Dave. The golf game is non-existent. But let me tell you this. This field is just a tribute, and the team is a tribute to Bob and Leslie Oman. They've done a great job in putting this together, and it's wonderful to see. I'm glad to be a sponsor. This brings back great memories for me. my senior year in high school, my literally best friend, Joe Lawson, was signed to a contract with the Seattle Co-Pilots, and he played here his first year in professional baseball.
Right.
And I'll never forget that summer. We used to come here from Seneca Falls to cheer Joe on, and it was just a wonderful experience. And it's great to see, for instance, today we honored Derek Farah, who is arguably one of the best pitchers in Section 5 history. Dave, I don't know if you followed it, but Derek is now on the Newark roster and just a graduate of Lions. His family is from Lions in Newark, and that they support him, and he's part of this team now. Just a few weeks ago, he was pitching for Lions in Section 5 and taking them on to victory after victory.
Hard grounder, bounced to the shortstop and out at first, 6-3, 2 outs in the inning. This is Dave Barnick speaking with Senator Mike Nizzolo on, how about that, Mike Nizzolio night. And I'm glad you picked tonight and not last night, Mike, because it was about 90 degrees at 10 o'clock last night still.
Dave, it must have been a sauna
Well,
atmosphere.
I wasn't here last night either. And
Well,
I'm
that's a good thing for
very
everybody.
glad for that, but it's a very small world indeed, and I actually remember scrimmaging against Joe Lawson in basketball many years ago.
He's a great
And
basketball
I
player.
believe we lost him, did we not? Or is
No.
Joe's
Joe's
doing
still,
okay?
Joe's still alive
that's
and kicking. He's a nurse. He's out of Clifton Springs.
I didn't know that.
He's an operating room nurse. And that interesting little story, the manager of the Auburn Doubledays, who won the New York Penn League title, he was 2 years in a row. He's just an outstanding manager. He and Joe Lawson were teammates. Denny Humberg and Joe Lawson were teammates here at Newark. This is a place where baseball has its roots, and young talent across the country comes together, and who knows what could happen. I mean, this field has cited many major league players over the years, and that it is also part of a network that has spawned some Hall of Famers as well.
It's nice to see it come back. We remember, of course, those glory days. They talk as the ball is fair territory, and quickly fielded by the left fielder, holding Canberg to a single. No score in this game, third inning. But a lot of the things you have to do in your role as a senator, obviously not as enjoyable as the opportunity to recognize a Farah or some of the other folks. I saw you were recognizing a grandmother tonight. That was a nice thing.
Well, Angela Farah is a lovely lady, wonderful person, and she told me about her grandson many years ago when he was in Little League. And we followed his progress, his career. He's been in the paper. He's got more victories than any other pitcher in Lions history, the Lions. And he's just a fine young man, a gentleman by all accounts, and he's going to have a great future, whether it's in Major League Baseball or Major League life. He is well prepared with just the great ethics of his family.
And a quick throw from the catcher trying to get the runner at first, but he's back.
It's great
2-1.
this league has Cooperstown as a franchise.
The Hawkeyes. I was looking for someone named Trapper John on the team, but I wanted to ask you, I was thinking about this and looking forward to seeing you tonight. As you travel around the state, if there's one thing, is we have a pop-up foul territory, and I think it was out of play. I was blocked from view. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, no score. Top of the third. What would be the one thing you'd most like to tell your constituents, and for that matter, all residents of the state of New York in your role as senator, if there was something you could pick out as far as, let's on the positive side?
Dave,
most
thanks for asking that question. I mean, we live in a great state, a tremendous state. It has a deep history. It has great people. It has great institutions. Baseball being just one of them is Cooperstown, the site of the National Baseball Hall of Fame. But there are just so many good things about New York. The problem has been New York's government has put us off track, and that I'm very pleased that over the last 2 years we've been with new management in the state Senate, working with Governor Cuomo in a bipartisan, nonpartisan fashion. We're trying to get this state back on the right track, and I believe we've succeeded at least getting it started on the right track. And much more needs to be done, but I'm very pleased with the progress so far, and I guess we'd all take deep breaths and say, yes, we're making New York competitive again so that we can have opportunities here. I want these young people who are playing baseball or not playing baseball to have opportunities in New York like you did when you were growing up, like I have when I grew up, that we want to keep our great young people here in the state so their grandmothers and grandfathers can enjoy their grandchildren in New York as opposed to have it travel to Florida or North Carolina or wherever.
And there's a base. Wow, nice grab. It'll be an infield hit. But the shortstop made a nice play, preventing that from going to the outfield and saving a run, and then nearly caught the runner circling third. So the base knock by Beatty. So now it's going to be runners on first and third. There are 2 outs, no score, but Cooperstown threatening. So, Mike, would it be safe to say that the bipartisanship we've seen in the last couple of years is greatly increased from what we've seen in a decade or more?
I feel so, David. It's grown. I mean, you and I worked on issues in your capacity for many years. Those issues, I believe, are being addressed now more in a nonpartisan or bipartisan fashion than ever before. And I applaud our governor. I work very closely with him on a lot of different stuff, particularly economic things, to keep spending down, to keep our taxes down, to keep focus on eliminating costly mandates to local governments and local property taxpayers. All that's very important, and it works to get New York back on track and be competitive with other states. A competitive world out there, and the companies that are in Newark or in the Finger Lakes region, all across Wayne County, those companies compete on a national stage with companies from all across the globe. We need to make them competitive. The farmers in Wayne County, and there are an awful lot of them, they compete with products produced in China, in Europe, all across South America. That we are competing, as farmers have competed. We need to make our products as competitive as possible by making it less costly.
And there's a shot it's going to be caught by the right fielder. Can you stick with us for another half inning, Mike?
They'd be glad to. Another half would be wonderful.
So we'll be back with Newark batting, bottom of the third, no score, right after this.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Louisiana.
Well, Josh Crowdis will lead off, and we're going to continue our discussion here in the bottom of the third, no score, Newark batting with Senator Mike Nozzolio. And, you were mentioning the farmers, and although it's been great for me not to have to mow my lawn for the last month, and the only thing growing seems to be weeds, that's got to be a big concern across the state as well as the nation.
It's certainly been a dry summer, a hot summer. The farmers are suffering. And that we hope to get some rain. We're supposed to have some come last night, but unfortunately it didn't.
Now, when does session start for Albany again?
The state is safe for the time being. We're not in session this month or next month.
Nice.
It's unlikely that we will be, but until election time.
That's an out at first, so we will have Brent Langston coming up, and this game continues to motor along.
And Dave, look at what's interesting is we see the Newark Pilot roster. Delta State, we have just young men from all across America who are part of this team. This league is brought in, as has the Collegiate Baseball League. They bring in the young men from all across the country to play in this very high-level league.
That's an outstanding frankly, getting my engines running again. And there's one of those tricky hops we talked about. Good throw by the shortstop and has the runner for 2 outs. And that ground, in spite of it, the field is in really good shape, but it is rock hard, as you might expect. So 2 down. So Mike, a Syracuse University graduate, Syracuse Law School, and they, controversy, they will be moving from the Big East to the ACC. Any thoughts on that?
I think it's inevitably in a good way that one of the
Going
things.
to miss some of those rivalries.
Big East was great.
Probably
Basketball.
the side bets with Judge Madej.
Big East basketball was second to none. I mean, it was just a great league, but it's changing, and that's what Syracuse recognized, that things were changing, and they had to make a change. One thing I wrote about earlier this year, we need to be very proud in the Wayne Finger Lakes League to have 2 of the greatest coaches in all of the United States. Just next door here in Lyons, Jim Boeheim grew up and played against teams that we all grew up with and are part of, and Tom Coughlin, a 2-time Super Bowl champion from Waterloo, Jim Boeheim from Lyons, both Syracuse grads, both from our little conference of the Wayne Finger Lakes. I'm so proud of that. I think it's just wonderful. And you grew up in that conference, in that area, and that I just think it's wonderful to have those 2 great icons of athletics and athleticism to be part of our Wayne Finger Lakes picture and history.
Maybe the tabloids in New York will actually leave Coach Coughlin alone for a few weeks. They always wanted to fire the guy, and even if they hadn't been as successful as they have been, he's just done an outstanding job. And, of course, Boeheim is legendary. And
Coach Boeheim's now in the National Basketball Hall of Fame. That I hope one day when Tom Coughlin gets inducted into the National Football Hall of Fame and in the Pro Football Hall of Fame, he can join the same Syracusan who was in his backfield, Floyd Little, who I got a chance to meet just a few weeks ago. What a fine gentleman he is. And he told me that Coach Coughlin, when he was a running back for Syracuse, always wanted to take the ball away from him and take more carries. But I think that's great. It's part of the competitive nature of what football is all about.
I do remember a high school story about a player that coming in from Minders with a play, and he changed it. I remember that story, Mike.
Someday I'd like to hear it. We'll
you know what
have
I'm
to
talking
go.
about. But the Easterling walk, so we have no score, 2 outs, runner on first, and Osterman is up at the plate. He is the number 5 hitter, center fielder from Pittsburgh.
And John Fisher College, which has a great baseball program, Sean Osterman, great coaching at Fisher. They've sent a lot of players into the professional ranks, and it's great to see Sean here and see him play this summer.
And line shot, and it's deflected off the glove of the shortstop. That'll be a hit, I'm sure, as at any rate it'll be first and second, 2 outs. Speaking of
too hot to handle. Just too hot to handle.
I don't know if you heard, but Mike Stackis Jr. just won the Vermont State Amateur Golf Tournament.
Oh, that's great. Mike's a wonderful golfer, a product of John Fisher College. And Mike's up in Vermont now as a resident?
He works for Norwich University in Vermont.
Oh, terrific. And I'm very pleased. Congratulations to Mike on that state amateur title.
Close pickoff attempt. And the second baseman pleading his case to the man in blue to no avail. Well, it's really so good to see you and for you to have this opportunity, and gives me an opportunity as well to thank you for all the support and assistance. A lot of the listeners or viewers may not know that I worked in the field of chemical dependency treatment for many, many years, and we were very fortunate during some very difficult and trying times to have you on our side and in our corner so we could help to provide necessary services.
Well, Dave, you had a great career in public service, and I thank you for the work you've done through the years in helping people, and it's always great to be your friend, and I'm glad you're doing this. This is just a wonderful thing that you and Harold are back in the saddle again, and it's great that you're being participant. I wish you could get over to Auburn tomorrow night. We've got the double days in our night
Beautiful little
Good
park,
chop.
indeed. And there's a chopper. Going to be a tough
Good
play
play.
at first.
Good
and
play.
Just got him. So, again, through 3 innings of play on Senator Mike Mazzolio night here in Newark, there is no score. Mike, anything final you'd like to say?
Just
before
Dave,
that?
it's great to be with you, and I urge everybody to come out and enjoy this great national pastime here. There's nothing like live baseball, and it's great to have it all through our communities.
And that is a beautiful park in Auburn as well. You're absolutely right. Thanks a lot, Senator.
Dave,
my pleasure as always.
Likewise, thank you.
And we will be back with the 4th inning of play. Again, no score, Newark and Cooperstown. Right after this.
Nice job, Ace. Nice job.
Okay, we're back here at Colburn Park. Thank you very much, Chris. Through 3 innings, we got zip as Dave Barnick and Mike Mazzolio spent an inning together, and thanks to the Senator for spending some of his valuable time with us up in the broadcast booth. I had the opportunity to talk to Mike several times in my career, and I thought it'd be nice to touch if Dave would chit-chat with Mike and see what's going on down in Albany. I know they're on break, and, of course, elections are coming up in a few months, so Mike's involved in a lot of things, and he does a lot of things positive for his constituents, and he's involved in some personal things for our family, and I know he's going to continue to battle those legislative processes to get things done. So we move to the top of the 4th inning, Cooperstown and Newark in a deadlock, zip, as we begin action. Jacob Hubert is up now here in the top of the 4th. The line score right now, 0-3-1 for Cooperstown, 0-2-2 for the homestanding Newark Pilots. Hubert's pitch, or the pitch to Hubert, is outside, and it's a ball and a strike. Cooperstown in last place. Newark only a game and a half away from, in a nice position right now in 3rd place, game and a half from 2nd. Here's a bouncer foul toward the dugout, the Newark dugout. So the count goes to 1 ball, 2 strike as you follow the action here on Finger Lakes One TV. As a member of FingerLakes1.com, we hope that you have checked us out, and certainly we have one more regular season game after tonight. That'll be a Sunday night, July 29th, and the pitch is fouled back. It'll be a 7 o'clock start. Brendan Harrington and myself will be in the house broadcasting that game with our usual crew, Chris and Jimmy, and our buddy Jeremy Hunt will be also here as well. So, not sure about the playoffs. I assume if Newark gets in the playoffs, bouncer now off the bat of Hubert to 3rd base. Cross the diamond, got him. Nice play. As Hubert bounces to 3rd. As the play made by the likes of Joe Landy, who we had on our show this morning, the Dog and Polly Show on FingerLakes1.com, and along with Ben Bostic, it was a good time, and we appreciate that opportunity to have them in. Well, David is coming back to the broadcast booth, and Dave, you had a good time talking to the senator. I'm sure the senator's working on a multitude of things. Here's a bunt attempt, and did he get hit? Nope, just came awful close. Thanks for spending an inning with the senator. I think he enjoyed it.
Well, it's my pleasure, and of course, much like yourself, we go back a long time in our small county of Seneca.
And the pitch is swung on and missed. Quinn Pippin.
Actually, a pretty good, fast-moving ball game.
It is moving good. Of course, we said that a week ago, and it was 21 runs in the 7th. And there's a foul off by Pippin.
And Harold's not exaggerating.
There were
21 runs scored in
amazing.
In the 7th inning after a 3-1 game after 6.
You know, we're talking to Mike Nizzolio, and I guess if Bob Ullman shows up in the booth, we probably ought to spend a little time talking to him. Here's a swing and a miss by Pippin, and he will go down on the K note, and that is 2 outs here in the top of the fourth in a fast-moving game. We said that last week, though, and like I say, we were here for an eternity in a game that ended 16-12 with Newark with the bases loaded and could have tied it up with a grand slammer. Not quite, but since then they have won 5 in a row to get themselves in very good position for the playoffs. In the first pitch by the likes of the Newark pitcher, Tidwell. Tidwell pitching very effective tonight. Andrew Tidwell, and the pitch. Ooh, that looked awful good. Tidwell comes in tonight's action with an ERA of 6.55, one-loss record of 4-1 for Chris Ebright's Pilots.
If I'm Chris Ebright, Harold, the longer this cellar dweller kind of sticks around, and they've already beaten his team, Newark, 2 out of 3.
Bingo.
Gets a little more concerned.
Yeah, you do get a little concerned. You know, you want to win the games, and the pitch is inside. So the count goes to 3 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs, top of the fourth, here on Finger Lakes 1 TV. And the pitch is got a called strike on the outside corner, 3-2. Dave, go downstairs. I had a chance to take a break, see some of my friends that are in the house tonight. And, boy, the concession stand is crowded. The walkways are crowded. And got him. Strike 3. Didn't like the call, but the strikeout counts. So we've played 3.5 from Newark. We got a zip game. We'll be back with more action after this. Well, welcome back, everybody. Cooperstown's pitcher Hayden Elrod has been pitching a good game, only allowing 2 hits through 3 innings. And Tidwell for Newark is doing quite well as thank you very much. He's only allowed 3 hits after 4 at-bats for the Cooperstown Hawkeyes. Joe Landy starts off the bottom of the fourth in his 0-0 game, and the windup and the pitch. Faked the bunt, Landy did, and he fouled it back. And, having Ben Bostic and Joe on the air this morning, Dave, they reminded them that last night was an off night. If not for coming on the show this morning, they would have been asleep till noon. So I screwed up their date by having them on the show. These young college kids like sleep, especially when they get a chance to get some sleep.
Well, actually, I think you and I, and this comes with age, have actually lost the ability to sleep too late.
I tell you, it's amazing. I do get up so early in the morning. It's ridiculous. And the pitch is outside. The count goes to 2-1.
You know what keeps me in bed an extra hour, and I'll keep this clean. Mm-hmm. It's not a question or anything. Monday through Friday, Harold, when I get up, I do some exercises.
Nice.
But I dread them enough that I'll literally stay in bed listening, turn on Mike and Mike in the morning and listen for a while before I finally drag myself up. And
now, how long of a workout do you get?
Oh, it's like a 15-minute
Nice.
break.
Landy draws the walk to start the bottom of the fourth. So Joe begins the bottom of the fourth for the Newark Pilots with a walk. And let's see if we can turn this into something positive for the homestanding Pilots.
I wonder if Landy may test the catcher's arm here, try to make something happen, get a rally stirred up.
And the batter now, after Landy got on with a base on balls, is Chris Doyle. Doyle was hit by a pitch on his first appearance, throw over to first base. No problem there as Landy's back to the bag. Well, I was pulling for some clouds tonight because we had a lot of clouds early in the day, and I thought, could this be a night that myself and Dave Barnick could work a game with clouds? No. The sun is out. There's not a cloud in the sky. And the pitch almost hit him again. And we've got a ball Ball one against Chris Doyle. Cooperstown, Newark tied zip going to the bottom of the fourth here. Landy leads off first with nobody out as Doyle now digs in. Elrod sets, looks down, and Landy goes. Pitch, the base stolen easily by Landy as Landy easily gets to second base, so that could prove to be key as he got to second base with nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth.
Doyle swinging on that pitch. Not sure if it was a hit-and-run situation or he just liked what he saw.
Yeah, I think it's important, and you're right, Dave. When you play a team that's mired in last place, nothing against Cooperstown, they're having a tough year, but Newark is vying for that second slot, and it's kind of nice to get W's against teams like Cooperstown, but it doesn't always happen. Here's Landy going to third, and he's easily going to make it.
Catcher, sorry, Harold.
Yep.
Catcher couldn't get the ball out of his glove, and I think it took him a little off guard as well.
Smoking Joe Landy, looking for the Olympics in a week and a half as it starts a week from Friday night, a week from this Friday. The Olympics will begin in London, so he's showing some speed. Now he's at third with nobody out. Great scoring opportunity. Doyle hits one now deep to right field, over the head of the right fielder. Doyle will turn to first, head to second. He's looking for three. Get to third base, and he's going to stand up with a stand-up triple. Chris Doyle clears Mr. Landy, who scores the first run of the night. So Newark takes a 1-0 lead on the booming triple by the likes of Chris Doyle.
Well, Doyle with a superb hit, and Landy no doubt getting the pitcher maybe a little nervous as he had stolen bases on 2 consecutive pitches. And could waltz in from third base after that nice hit to right field.
Oh, he blew it over the right field's head, and it was never a question of whether or not he was going to get 3. I was wondering if he can make it all the way around and do a inside the park job. And here's a pitch, bounced up towards short. Nice play, crossed the diamond, got him. And Doyle is still at third. Good play by Cooperstown on the bounce out from Barker to the shortstop.
I kind of wonder if there was one out, maybe he would have taken off, but playing caught with nobody out, sticking at third. So Bostic, the leadoff hitter, will be back up at the plate.
Yeah, that shortstop, Colton Beatty, made that play. Nice play, by the way, to get the one out. Bostic now at the plate, got the man down on third with less than 2 outs. He got a 1-0 Newark lead, and this is a good run to get.
What's funny, you mentioned the Olympics, Harold, because every 4 years, largely there are a bunch of sports that guys like you and I pay little attention to, but they captivate us and much of the American public. Of course, the flag, I don't know if you're aware of the flag for
made
the
in
Olympics.
China.
Yep.
Unbelievable. I did a commentary on my Weber and Sports show on Monday morning about how stupid, ignorant somebody on the subcommittee could possibly not tell Ralph Lauren, who's a world-class designer, that, hey, Ralph, by the way, the uniforms and the berets and the socks and the underwear that we're going to wear, make sure it's made in America. You would think that would be a no-brainer, Dave. We'll talk about that now that you got me on a roll here thinking about that. How many companies that, by the way, ABC's had a host of companies that have been on their 6:30 broadcast. How many companies have come forward and said, we could have made those clothes at a competitive rate? Amazing. I don't know, and a walk to Bostic. So first and third, 1 out. It just blows your mind that somebody could be so inept to allow that to happen. But it is what it is, and I don't think they're going to change it by showtime a week from Friday.
The first complaint was that they looked too English. And then when it got out that they were actually made in China.
Oh, unbelievable.
Much like many, many things these days.
Josh Crowdis comes up now for the Pilots. 1-0 Newark has finally broken through here in the bottom of the fourth. They still got a rally with first and third, 1 out, and the pitch is swung on. Fouled back, out of play.
Well, one of the spectacular things about the Finger Lakes, Harold, and I think you'll agree, not only the scenic beauty, but the tremendous agriculture and an abundance of clean water, and I certainly hope it all stays that way.
So we've got at the plate Josh Crowdis, runners on first and third, and an attempted pickoff at first, the old wheel play, which is done a lot in baseball, and to no avail in that one. Runners on first and third, 1 out, bottom of the fourth. Newark has come through with a run to take the lead, 1-0. They're threatening again, and a pitch And they're going to second for the out, and the ball gets loose. Runner from third coming home. Is the out? Safe.
It was close.
Chris Doyle slides under the tag to get the second run for Newark on a bang-bang play at the plate. So, little surprised, David, that the catcher threw it down to second, to be honest with you.
Well, I think the signal for the third base runner to come in was when I don't know if that was the shortstop or second baseman taking that throw, but when the ball got loose momentarily, racing in was Doyle for the game's second run.
So we got a 2-0 lead, and we've got Bostic on second base, and the pitch. Line drive, center field, base hit. And Bostic had a hold up, waiting to see if that was going to be caught. So a knocker right in the upper gut to the center fielder on one bounce. So the Pilots are set up once again with one out, with the Pilots leading 2-0, still trying to add more.
And Crowdis is having a great year. Just laced that single to center. Came into the game batting .336. So they have a bunch of hitters near the top 10 to 15 batters in the league.
Yeah, they got some good productivity coming from this lineup. Brent Langston appearing for the Pilots at the plate. Got a couple of ducks on the pond with first and third, leading 2-0, trying to get more, and the pitch. Inside for a ball. Again, this is Mike Nazzolio night. It was nice to Mike to take time out to come up and spend an evening with Dave here on our broadcast, get caught up on what's going on politically. Of course, we should point out that Mike's involved in the farm days. That'll be coming up shortly in a couple weeks, I guess. I'm curious, Dave, you've come to Seneca Falls. Maybe you and the Cayuga Street remodeling project has really slowed down people to a snail's pace on Cayuga Street.
Boy, for a while.
Can you imagine when those 100,000 people come in for farm days? Oh, it's going to be brutal.
You know, actually, I meant and forgot to bring up when we were talking about
throw over to first, safe.
Issues in New York State, and we all complain when we get held up in traffic, but it's been nice to see a lot of the roads getting rebuilt. And actually, out my way on Route 96, they quickly just put together, I don't know how many miles, 7-8 miles of new.
Here's a fly ball down to the left field line, going across, looking up, and he's got the catch, tagging it third. Bostic will skate in easily to give a 3-0 lead. So the sacrifice fly. So Langston on the SF sacrifice fly, and the Pilots now lead 3-0 as they have opened up the game here in the bottom of the fourth.
Yeah, that one was tagged pretty good, and easy sack fly as Bostwick just came in at half speed without any problems.
Micah Easterling at the plate, and the first pitch is a strike. Runner on first for the Pilots, leading 3-0. As the Pilots try to run their record now to 21-16. As, of course, with only 12 games left after tonight, 11. And here's a drive out toward right field, going back, second baseman, got the catch. And the catch has been made. So we have played 4 innings of baseball. The Newark Pilots, homestanding Newark Pilots on Mike Nazzolio night, leading 3-0. We'll be back with more.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
With a line on the score through 4 innings, ladies and gentlemen, the Newark Pilots leading 3-0. Newark with 3-4-2, 3 runs, 4 hits, a couple of errors. Cooperstown Hawkeyes 0 runs, 3 hits and 1 error through 4. And as Dave pointed out, this is a game that you want to put in the win column if you're the Newark Pilots. Obviously, Cooperstown didn't come all this way to lose, but right now the Pilots have jumped out to not an insurmountable lead. We all know about that. 3-0 as we begin the top of the 5th, as Tidwell has pitched a wonderful game so far. And he continues pitching very well with a 1 ball on the first batter coming up now here in the top of the 5th inning.
Vanderglass to the plate.
Yeah, Bradley Vanderglass, and swings and misses. We got a 1-1 count.
When I hear his name, it makes me think, of course, of Glimmerglass Lake in Cooperstown.
There you go.
Have you ever played golf there in Cooperstown?
I never have. I have friends that have played it, and they love it. And here's a fly ball out to right center field, coming across, and it will drop in for a base knock. So in the right center field, the base knock by the likes of Vanderglass starts off the top of the 5th with base hit. I've had a lot of friends play there, and they say it's a wonderful golf course.
That's what I've heard, just beautiful. I've walked by it, actually. The last time I was in Cooperstown during my son's junior high trip, which we had to sleep on the floor of a church, I remember. And the smartest move I made was to take an inflatable mattress.
Nice move. Nice.
But what a picturesque little town Cooperstown is.
Ty Morris for Cooperstown takes the ball.
You know, and I know he was tried on the senior circuit, was an excellent golfer. I don't know if he was a pro there or lived there, but former New York Yankee Ralph Terry.
Sure, yeah, Ralph Terry.
Used to play golf in Cooperstown.
Wow. And a throwaway trying to pick him off, and the runner Vanderglass will go to second. He may go to third, and he will go to third. So Vanderglass gets an early Christmas gift from the Pilots on the pickoff attempt, and it went down the right field line. And that's a free ball, and Mr. Vanderglass put it into third gear, then shoved it into fourth as he turned second, got to third. So as Vanderglass now will be positioned at third base with nobody out, and the Pilots now find their 3-0 lead in danger of having the other team score some runs here.
Yeah, you just get 3 runs, and this is what gives coaches and managers gray hair. Just get the batter. We got the lead finally. So there was a runner on first. No big deal as of yet, and now he's threatening with nobody out.
So Ty Morris now will look at a 1-0 count. Nobody out. Man on third for Cooperstown, trying to cut into that 3-0 lead. Fouled at the plate. Caught a little bit of the catcher, no doubt. And the catcher, of course, Cash Barker. Probably one of the toughest positions in the world of baseball. I always wonder how these catchers can survive it. They take so many nicks, Dave, and they take so many pounding from baseballs. And they get hit with bats every so often because these guys that get up the plate swing a little too wild. It's just amazing that they can. I admire anybody who's a catcher, truly do. That's a tough position. And here's Tidwell's pitch. Line down the right side, out of play.
That's why they call the catcher's equipment the tools of ignorance.
Yeah.
Beautiful night in Newark.
It is.
The only thing that might have made it a little more pleasant was
clouds.
I was thinking if Delane George had shown up, she
Aha.
had another appointment.
Here's a bouncer foul. Yes, it was nice to see her last week. She was in the house. And don't know if Mary's checking out our action tonight. Normally Mary checks out all of our webcast.
And my best to your wife, Mary. No doubt in better spirits than a week ago.
No doubt. Yes.
A little bit under the weather at that time.
Oh, yes. She's doing fine, and thank you. Here's another foul down toward the dugout of Newark. Yep, she's doing good, and everybody's doing good, knock on wood. So we've got a 3-0 game, Newark leading, but Cooperstown, the Hawkeyes, are trying to break that zero spell. Man on third, nobody out, and the pitch. Bounce toward the pitchers, not going anywhere. Tidwell to first, and he will stay put, so nice play. Bounces it back to the first. Tidwell, easy play over to the likes of Brent Langston and gentleman on third base by the name of Bradley Vanderglass had nowhere to go but stay put. So 1 out now. Man still on third. And, of course, obviously, Cooperstown as the pitch is right down the middle of the strike. Kyle Liner,
native of Binghamton, New York, so playing in Cooperstown, not too far from home.
And here's a fly ball out to right field. Bostic getting underneath it. as he scores, as it did fall down, I apologize. I couldn't see the ball going down, but it bounced in front of Ben. So the run scores, and we've got a 3-1 ball game. Here in the top of the 5th inning, as head coach Chris Ebright out to talk to starter Tidwell.
Although it's less humid and about 15 degrees cooler than a night ago, still a warm summer night. A lot of pitches have been thrown. And he may be just giving a breather to his young pitcher while he checks out with the catcher and pitcher how he's doing.
So tell me more about this workout in the morning. Are we talking Jack LaLanne here? Are we talking 100 sit-ups, 100 push-ups? Are we talking 3 sit-ups, 4 push-ups? What
I
are we
will
talking?
tell you I can do more push-ups now than I could 20 or 30 years ago.
And how many does that equate to? How many do you in the morning? You have a certain routine you go through?
I do. There's a lot of stretching.
Okay.
I do 80 crunches.
Wow.
I do 72 push-ups.
Wow.
The first 40 are pretty good.
Wow.
After that, they would never get credit for them. It's more like...
Now, do you do this workout with Michael Jackson music in the background to get pumped up?
Usually Mike and Mike are on, unless they're continuing to pound on themes. They do wear you out sometimes, and as unfortunate as the whole Penn State scandal is, sometimes on certain issues I've heard enough.
Yeah.
And, Steve, now the big issue is Jeremy Lin.
Yep. Stephen Canboard at the plate for Cooperstown, and the pitch is a strike, 0-2.
But I will tell you, Harold, I was listening to the Golf Channel this
Mm-hmm.
morning, and they interviewed one of my all-time favorites, Gary Player.
Oh, what a true gentleman. And the pitch to Canboard is lined down the right side out of play.
They asked Gary Player, the winner of he won, I think it was 1974 at the same tournament where the British Open is going, Royal Lytham.
Royal Lytham.
Starting tomorrow.
Tomorrow morning.
And I'll get more to that after this pitch.
0-2 pitch coming up, and it's high.
But anyway,
Almost.
The last question they asked Gary Player, and they kept calling him Mr. Player.
Mr.
They were
Player.
showing great reverence to the 9-time major winner. How many push-ups and sit-ups?
1 ball, 2 strike. Pitches bounced to short. Second one over to first. High throw. Might have had him. On a good throw, he might have had him. But Josh Perez took the toss from the shortstop. Crowdus to Perez. Perez, I think a good throw might have nipped him at first. That's speculation, but would have been bang, I guess. So it's still 3-1. Cooperstown now still has a man on first with 2 outs here in the top of the 5th, trailing 3-1.
But they asked Gary Player how many sit-ups and push-ups he had done that day. In other words, today. And he said 1,100.
1,100.
He is a maniaco. I may not be saying that right, but just extremely dedicated with diet and exercise, and always has been. And
I haven't done 1,100 in my lifetime. 1,100?
1,100. I assume that's 550 each. He didn't specify, but I know he's been always known as crazy with the calisthenics.
Well, while you're doing your workout with Mike and Mike, the dog gets up at about 5:30, 5:45 every morning, and the pitch is outside. And my idea of a workout is I come out to the kitchen, and Mary's usually still sleeping, and I make 2 cheeseburgers with an order of French fries and gravy all over them.
For breakfast?
Well, sometimes with a side order of cottage cheese. And the pitch is popped up. Left field, calling off, got the catch, and the inning ends. So, ladies and gentlemen, we played 4.5. Cooperstown's on the board. It's Newark 3-1 over Cooperstown. We'll be back with more baseball after this.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, we're back here. This is the Dog Age Weber in the broadcast booth, bringing you the play-by-play along with my broadcast partner, Dave Barnick. Well, I'll do another half an inning, and then Dave will take it over for a couple innings as we flip-flop back and forth, and we're all hoping to avoid the hour and 31-minute inning. We're hoping.
It was after 6 innings, the score was 3-1 on our last trip here. So it's just 1 inning earlier.
That's right.
And a final, that was an amazing finish to that game. It was 16-12, and Newark actually had the tying run at the plate.
Right. Sean Osterman, fine fan favorite, leads off, and the pitch is hit to the gap. Base hit to left field for Osterman. Leading off the bottom of the 5th. Smashed it right through the hole. So a runner on beginning the bottom of the 5th as you follow the action here on FingerLakes1.com. Jim Senecropi, along with Chris Marcourt, our directors, producers, the guys that do the switching of the knobs and make sure everything is in order technically, and they always do a great job, along with Jeremy Hunt, who's on scene with yours truly, Harold Weber and Dave Barnick, our broadcast team. And, pickoff attempt, safe at first. That was close. Our final regular season game will be a week from Sunday, as it's scheduled. Elmira will be in the house. The Bren Zone, Brendan Harrington, will be joining yours truly for the call of that game. That'll be on Sunday night, the 29th. And, again, depending on playoff ramifications, Jim Senecropi and the Omens would get together and decide whether or not we could come over and do a game or two. We don't know that at this point. We'll play it by ear based on the end of the season. I'm sure Jim will let FingerLakes1.com listeners and viewers check that out, and he would notify if that is a possibility. But again, I believe Newark has got a sight on the second place of the league. They're only a game and a half back, and it's a good opportunity to get that second seed because you would get a home field advantage. Because the way it works, from what Brian was telling me, Brian Connell, the general manager this morning on the air, 1 obviously plays 4, 2 plays 3. So
are they best out of 3? Or?
Yes, Brian says best out of 3. And the pitch swung on, driven out to center field. Now it's going to drop and go into third base, trying for 2, and he'll get there. So a base hit to right center field.
Ladies and gentlemen, with Hunter Fitzpatrick.
So we have runners on second and third for the Pilots, and they're trying to build on that 3-1 lead with nobody out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Could be the start of a 12-run rally. I did something very smart today at the wonderful concession stand, Harold.
You had, what, chicken or
this
what?
This would make Jack DePaul a little jealous.
What was that?
Well, I've missed out because the concession stand's closed by the time we finish.
Right.
I got the popcorn to take home.
Beautiful. And the pitch to Landy. Over the head of the second baseman. Base knock. 1 run is in. Going for 2. Out at home.
Injured player,
Oh,
too.
we have an injury, too. But the young man's jumping up in a hurry, so as 1 run is scored on the base knock by Landy.
I think Perez actually, he slid early. That's the only way he could have been ruled out because he was near home plate.
Josh Perez kind of walking it off. It looks like he may be okay, as no doubt he banged in the catcher, and I thought he might have been saved, Dave, but the umpire obviously was there calling him out. So 1 run has scored. Newark takes a 4-1 lead, and that's our first out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He was home in time. I can only think that he didn't get his foot to the bag, slid prematurely, perhaps. Would have to see it in slow motion, obviously, to know for sure. And then the tag came down, and they ruled him out. But they do get a run on the play,
Yep.
and that gets them back to that 3-run lead.
Didn't take long for them to get back to that 3-1 lead here in the bottom of the 5th as you follow the action on FingerLakes1.com. Based in Seneca Falls, New York. Happy to be over in Newark. We've enjoyed our broadcast here, and I've also enjoyed coming over when we haven't been broadcasting, and that's really a nice pleasure evening. And I'm going to try to do more of that maybe in the next week or so. Try to pick a game and come over and just relax and sit in the stands and not have to worry about the broadcasting side of it. Even though we love doing it, it's nice just to have a little cold beer and a hot dog and just watch some baseball. So it's kind of nice.
One of the things I was impressed with, I was very impressed with all the deeds that I am aware of. Mr. Ullman's contributions to his community.
Amazing.
We talked about that last week, but meeting the gentleman tonight, he's friendly, he's humble, and he's just very proud that he's able to do the things he's doing and contribute to the community.
Yeah, he's done an awful lot for a lot of areas and a lot of different causes. And we got to be pretty good friends with him and his wife, Leslie. And Leslie appeared on the Dog and Polly show. She was a nervous wreck when we asked her to come down. She was worried about her southern drawl, but I said we wouldn't pick on her, and she turned out to be an excellent guest. And as a matter of fact, I understand she checked out the show later on the night, because you can watch these archived. They're archived forever. And she thought she did a good job, and it went over a lot better than she thought it was. Most people who get invited to join the media, Dave can speak volumes of this as well. You've interviewed 1 million people, too, in your career. They get nervous of the anticipation, but, it's just like talking to your neighbor. And Leslie was an outstanding guest. And pitches popped up. First baseman underneath it, got it, and that will be the second out. So Doyle pops up to the first baseman of the likes of Cooperstown, and that's 2 outs with a 4-1 lead.
From Spring, Texas, number 7.
Cash Barker now will come in with Landy on first base, having knocked home a run as a second runner tried to score and got thrown out at the plate. So 2 outs, Barker at the plate. Newark leading 4-1, regaining, as Dave pointed out, that 3-run cushion. And they got him picked off. Landy is dead as a duck. And they're going to get him at first. So Joe has been tagged out. So that is something that he tried to make a move, and all of a sudden the head coach is probably, I think they're looking over maybe at the possibility of a balk situation. In any event, we have played 5 innings. Newark leading 4-1. We'll be back with more.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, we head into the 6th inning. Newark in front, 4-1, and we got a new pitcher in the ball game, Harold.
Jimmy Wagner.
For the Newark Pilots from Hilton,
So
New York,
Tidwell went 5 solid innings
Jimmy Wagner.
and is in line for a potential victory. I believe he's 4-1 on the season.
Mm-hmm.
So if Newark hangs on, they still, of course, have almost half a game to play, however. And what has just become a gorgeous evening here in the heart of the Finger Lakes.
Talking 75 on Friday, which is ideal weather.
Sure
Love
is.
75 degrees. So this heat spell is supposed to come back, by the way, not so much for the weekend. I was saying Monday, I think the high was 91, so we're back to the heat next Monday. But I understand this weekend's like mid-70s on Friday, like high 70s on Saturday. So it's I like that kind of weather personally.
Any rain in sight?
Not a drop. It's amazing.
It rained at the beginning of the golf tournament in Seneca Falls yesterday
Okay.
for all of about 30 seconds.
Wow.
And a nice job. It was the Rally for the Cure tournament that Marilyn Connor and a group of women from that nice country club where we enjoy playing
Sure.
put together as a fundraiser. And there are plenty of those going around all over the Finger Lakes. Actually, I played a beautiful course over in this area, Clifton Springs, not long ago.
You told me a nice golf course. I haven't played in a few years. I was at Ravenwood about a week and a half ago. That's a nice track.
But right here, 4-1, the catcher conferring with his new pitcher, Wagner. And the batter up for Cooperstown will be Chris Blanton, leading off the 6th. And the big right-hander, lanky, wheels, and first pitch is hit out to medium left field, and actually coming out and
nice
the
catch.
over the shoulder
catch.
A la football receiver.
Nice.
The
Crowdus.
Crowdus.
Nice play. Well, you know, I hadn't eaten tonight, Dave, because I went to get sausage. It hadn't been done yet. And our leader, producer, director, Jim Senacrope, I just saw him a while ago. I said, if you could bring me up a sausage sandwich, because I could take a break and eat it. I haven't anything to eat tonight. Jim said, I'll be on top of that. I don't know if he meant to go home and cook it at his house, because we have an all-points bulletin out for the producer-director who's trying to feed a dog.
I'll tell you, Jim does a great job.
He does a great job.
Of course, we've all been through the technical difficulties of many moons, many situations. And as I told him, these things shall pass.
You know what? It's part of the shtick, Dave. All the years we worked together, how many troubles did we have? Greg Cotterill trying to figure out for us.
The phone line was always the thing. 1 and 2 to the batter, Jacob Hubert, who is 0 for 2 so far here tonight, the number 4 hitter.
Anytime you try to broadcast, even though we did that women's am, and we got a K on the opening batter.
Swung on and missed, strike 3.
We did that women's am at the club last week, Dave, for 5.5 hours consecutively. Myself and Arthur Lyons hosted it. We went from 10 to 3:30, nonstop.
You went so long that Arthur Lyons lost his accent.
5.5 hours, Dave.
Have you played with golf with Arthur ever?
I've watched him play. He's an excellent player.
Well, if we hit him in the same direction with him, we'd be in trouble. But he hits him so far that he hits him out of trouble. 1 ball, no strikes, and there's a called strike.
I called him the Nick Faldo, or the Nick Faldo of the broadcast team. He's got a unique brogue, but he did a lot of good work in that broadcast. He prepared himself. He was out checking on ladies' outfit colors so we could determine where they were as positioning with our camera work. It was a well-done job.
Wagner goes ahead in the count 1-2 to Pippin. Pippin doubling from his Broadway appearance in the name show of the same name. But actually, Quinn is, when I talked to his coach, was one of the 2 players. I just said, can you pick out a couple kids who really go all out or that you'd like to highlight tonight, or players to watch as the ball's in the dirt? 3 and 2, full count. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. And the last batter, Hubert, was one, and Pippin was the other player he mentioned.
Pippin, isn't that the sister of the, not Queen, but the Prince, not Philip, I'm thinking about the big marriage in England there.
While you think of that, I'll tell everybody.
Go ahead.
Or they saw probably that Pippin draws the walk. You're probably, I know what's going on here, Harold.
Yep.
You catch, whether you want to or not, enough of the shows that Mary watches. So you get some of that information whether you care about it or not.
Well, I'm trying to think of the name of the lady the young lady that got married. Charles, not Charles. That's terrible. I'm having a ice cold memory loss here.
There's a foul ball down the right field line out of play. 1 ball, 1 strikes, 2 out. Runner on first. Newark in front, 4-1.
Man, you look around the crowds. This place is a nice crowd. I don't know what the attendance tonight is. We'll get that number later on.
Elmira continues to set the pace for the perfect pitch, perfect game league with tremendous attendance. I think the Newark attendance has been very good as well.
Excellent. They've had crowds of up to 2,000 people. It's a lot of people.
There's a pitch, and it's a wild pitch. High, and strolling from first to second is Pippin. 2 balls, 1 strike. I'm Dave Barnick, along with the H-Man, the dog, Harold Weber. How's my friend Paulie doing?
Doing great. Paulie is like, clockwork. He's just still working hard at the Deluxe. Goes in at 4 o'clock in the morning. Still loves doing that prep work for Charlie Lee up at the Deluxe. Been doing it for 20-some years.
He was a runner.
Yeah.
Does he still try to do some of that stuff?
I don't know. I don't think he does. I know was involved in putting it together. I don't think he does anymore. Could be wrong.
There's a shot to the shortstop. Comes up with it, throws to first, and just in time, and a nice scoop to end the inning. So we're through the top half of the sixth. 4-1 Newark. Back with more after this.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, Barker will try to cash in as he leads off the bottom of the sixth with his team, the Reds, leading 4-1. Harold, the only thing
you said it the same thing I did. You called them the Reds. I did too.
Did I just?
Yeah,
say
we're thinking of Gary Miller in basketball.
Well, our brains are trained. They say
Newark basketball. Gary Miller.
To change something in your golf swing, you have to do it over 700 times, and I'll bet.
Yep.
We said Reds after Newark.
Oh, a zillion,
more than that.
A lot of years. Wasn't Gary Miller the legendary coach?
He was, followed by a very successful successor. A couple of them, actually. Gary Seeger, and then I think it was Tim Cervolo.
Yep. And of course,
to give you an indication how old we are, they're all retired.
I saw a Newark legend, Seneca Falls graduate, Lenny Colavito, who coached football here in Newark for many years.
We got a big strapping right-hander on the mound for Cooperstown to start the bottom of the sixth. That's Josh Anderson. Harold, one of the things you mentioned, the next broadcast coming up, and it actually struck me a little sadly because I think you said July 29th. We got a bunt attempt fielded by the pitcher, throws over to first, and
gets him
just in time. But I hate the thought of July being almost
I know. Before you know it, Dave, we'll be counting down to Labor Day. You know, can we have another winter like last? We had no winter. Can we have another repeat? Don't know.
Well, hopefully there'll be rain between now and then.
Yeah, we do need rain. You know, it's amazing. Even though Dave and myself play out of Seneca Falls Country Club, and we have a, unbelievable watering system, touch of a button, computerized, and then they can water any part of the course at a touch. Actually, I was talking to Doug McWhorter, the superintendent, and he was telling me that they could have 3 days of steady rain, 3 days consecutively, and it wouldn't affect the course, the grounds, because it's so dry. And I guess the good news is, looking forward to playing this weekend. We didn't play last weekend. Looking forward to getting a little roll on the golf shot. So hopefully that'll work out too.
We can use all we can get, that's for sure. And there's a line shot to center field, but the center fielder backing up, reaches up and makes the grab.
Nice catch.
One of the better hit balls tonight, but it just goes as a long out, and that's out number 2.
Jacob Hubert with a nice catch for the likes of Cooperstown.
So Crowdis, as I said earlier, batting .336 as the game started. He singled his last time up. He's 1 for 3 in the game, so I would say his average is pretty close to that same figure. Probably hasn't moved a point. Takes a strike as he fakes a bunt. Crowdis not a big guy, the shortstop. Jeter having another good year.
Wow.
Close to the top. I don't know if he's first or second in the league in hits. My favorite, I think he's Mr. Class. even if you don't like the Yankees.
No.
I mean, there's a high foul ball pop up out of play.
How can you not like Derek?
I think he really took the torch from Cal Ripken in terms of classy individuals with one team. And I hate the thought of him not having too many years left on the diamond.
Yeah. And we got to remember that we're talking about the Yankees and their dominance. They won again today, so they swept Toronto out of there. Goodbye. Where's Toronto going without Bautista? Jose Bautista's on the DL, got a sore wrist.
And their young third baseman, I don't know if you saw that.
I saw that
today.
play. Oh, God, yeah.
They're losing
Yeah.
lots of casualties. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
And now the Yankees will go on the West Coast and play Oakland and Seattle in back-to-back series.
Well, they certainly can't keep playing at the
No.
pace they've been at since, I guess, about June. But I do think as that ball's lined in the
Base
gap,
hit.
left center field, base hit, clean single for Crowdis. So he goes 2 for 4 in the evening.
What's amazing, David, about the Yankees, though, to follow that thought, do you think you'd ever see where the Yankees or the opposition is trying to pitch to A-Rod? They don't want to touch Cano or Tex or Granderson. They would rather bring A-Rod to the plate. It's amazing.
And how long do you keep A-Rod batting in that cleanup spot?
I don't know, Dave. How long would you? I mean, you would have moved him. I would have yanked him by now. I know it would have embarrassed him, but too bad. He's getting about $27 million a year.
Would you be embarrassed for that amount of money?
No, I wouldn't be embarrassed. I'd
No,
cash the checks.
I mean, you wouldn't mind being embarrassed for that kind of
No,
money.
but I'm surprised that Girardi hasn't made a move, moving him down to 6th or 7th. I know it would be a slap in the face to A-Rod, but still, it's, you're the manager. He's not producing per se. His numbers are not very good. And I think he's making like $28 million. I mean, it's amazing, and he's got several more years of that.
I will say that, and I was about to earlier, that I do see Cano's performance is putting him right in the mix for most valuable player
Amazing.
this year, along with the youngster from
Mike Trout.
Yep, from Anaheim.
What a player.
Or Los Angeles.
How about
The
Bryce
Angels.
Harper, too?
How about that deal between him and
Oh, yeah.
The,
Ozzie.
Florida manager?
What a wacko. Ozzie Guillen. Claiming he was making fun of him. Ozzie, wherever Ozzie goes, there's controversy.
Langston's going to try to record a K here to end the inning with Langston in a hole 0-2 and throws that in the dirt, and that'll be a stolen base as Crowdis takes the opportunity to jaunt down to second. 4-1. Dave Barnick, along with Harold Weber, Jim Sinacropi, Chris Marquardt, and Jeremy Hunt. Quite a crew. It keeps getting bigger, our entourage.
Oh, yeah, we have the entourage. I do. Jimmy's got to rent a limo, Bring us over here in style. Have the air conditioner on, have some beverages in the limo. He laughed, of course.
I'd rather have the concessions.
That's right.
Make sure, get the sandwich.
There you go. What sandwich? I never got it, so.
Well, you better get down there between innings or something, Harold, before they close. Good stuff. Nice park. We've said it. We'll continue to say it because it's true. Inexpensive way to spend a summer evening.
That's right.
Wind, and the pitch is low but batted down the right field line, fouled out of play.
Almost caught it. It was out of view. As you know, with our broadcast view, our right field angle is terrible. So you got to do the ostrich look, going out, looking out. But a nice attempt by the Cooperstown player to catch that.
By the way, I went to Rochester for a game last Friday night.
Oh, did you?
Delane, who I see, secured some second-row tickets for us, and it was kind of cool being right there by the dugout.
How they doing?
Not too good.
Not too good.
They're doing better than last year, but they're still under 500. I got to see Jamie Farr's favorite team,
Okay.
the Toledo Mud Hens.
Oh, that's right. The Toledo Mud Hens.
The parent team is Detroit, I believe.
Who won the game?
The Red Wings. We did not stick around for the fireworks. And
Called strike three.
Caught looking, and that'll end the 6th inning. No runs. Ahead, a runner left on. And it's 4-1. Newark in front, 2/3 of the way through this one here in balmy Newark.
Hi, my name is 1.com is a great website. You can find all the videos and you can find the podcast. So have a great time.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's one place you can get it. At FingerLakes1.com. Come on over to FingerLakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One. www.fingerlakes1.com. Come on and join the fun. Log on to Finger Lakes One.
Well, bottom third of the lineup coming to the plate for Cooperstown, trailing 4-1 as we head into the 7th inning. And it'll be Vanderglass, Morris, and Liner. That is if we don't have any pinch hitters. Newark in front, 4-1. And Josh Anderson continues his relief on the mound of, Jimmy Wagner of Andrew Tidwell, who went 5 solid innings for the Pilots. And Wagner throws it close, but must have been a little low. 1 for 2 for Vanderglass. He singled back in the 5th inning, and he takes that one a little high. So 2-0. Vanderglass from Bowling Green, state of Kentucky, the Bluegrass State. My grass is brown, by the way, like a lot of folks in the Finger Lakes. Strike, 2-1 to count, nobody out, top of the 7th. And a chance for Newark if they continue to hang on and post this victory, as that ball is fouled out of play. Evens, we got a full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. A chance for Newark to post their 6th consecutive victory. I'd have to look it up, although these guys listening to the left probably can tell me. I'd have to guess that's the longest winning streak of the year for the Pilots. So Vanderglass, and I don't want to speak prematurely, as Vanderglass gets the leadoff walk, and Ty Morris, the left fielder, coming up.
Now batting number 3, the left
Yeah, that's the one thing with sports. Can certainly be a great diversion. We have the Olympics, Major League Baseball, all the not too far away. Have to bring this to Harold's attention when he comes back. There's a hard grounder right up through the middle, base hit. So just like that, runners on first and second, nobody out. But I think we're 49 days away from the opening regular season kickoff of the National Football League. Now, Kyle Liner, the scheduled batter, but I believe this is a pinch hitter. Nope. And Bonatemp is foul. I'm going to check that because that's a different number.
I'm sorry, how much was the money again?
153.
Yep. Pinch hitter into the game. Or is a different number. That's all right. Then the one I had. This is Liner then. Thank you for that correction. And if I would give you a plug if I knew your name, but I appreciate that. You might know I noticed the player's jersey number is different from what we were first given, so I thought it was a pinch hitter. So Anderson trying to work himself out of this no-out, 2-on jam he's into, and there's a pitch. Boy, it looked pretty good from here. Home plate umpire Dylan Cleveland said a bit high outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. So with the NFL regular season 49 days away, that tells you that, or maybe that's the first preseason game. But at any rate, there's a nice bunt. They're going to have to hustle to get him at first. The throw, and what a great play. Nonetheless, Cooperstown got what they wanted. They just didn't get more than what they wanted, as Liner with a nice sacrifice bunt nearly got a base hit out of it as well. So runners now on second and
From
third.
Port Moody, British Columbia, Canada.
2 outs.
Tonight's designated hitter number 19, Stephen Candborg.
And that'll bring up the leadoff hitter, Canberg, who's 1 for 3 on the night with a single back in the third inning. A single here would make it a 1-run game.
Wow.
Newark in front 4-1. The pitch is a curveball, catches the outside corner for strike 1. On Senator Mike Nazzolio night at Colburn Park. Second pitch in the dirt. And he swung and missed at a pitch in the dirt, but it was loose, and the catcher picked it up and threw him out at first. So that'll go as a K. And then they go 2 to 3 on the putout. So now after letting the first 2 batters on with singles, or a walk and a single, there's a chance for Newark and Wagner to get out of it if they can get Beatty. And Beatty 0 for 3 on the night. Takes it low for ball 2. The lights are on. And Newark. The wind up and the pitch right down the middle, strike 1. 2-1, 2 outs, 2 on. Top of the 7th. One thing I do like about Wagner, he works very quickly. From the wind. Right down there for strike 2. Boy, that was a tough one to take. Count even at 2 apiece. Deuces are wild. As Harold contemplates a trip to Turning Stone when I said that. And this one in the dirt, a nice job by the catcher. Saved a run there on a potential wild pitch. And actually, I'm not sure how Beatty didn't get hit by that pitch. It was in the dirt and low, right toward the Cooperstown shortstop at bat. And here's the pitch, low.
Wow.
And now the bases are full of Hawkeyes. Not Trapper Johns, but Hawkeyes.
From Burlingame, California, here's number 6.
So nowhere to put them.
Chris Blanton.
And they also have probably, you would think, one of the best batters on the team up is Blanton. Bats in the 3-hole, right fielder. He has a home run earlier in this season in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League. Takes ball 1.
Well, Dave, thank you for allowing me to get a little bite to eat at a late dinner, but it was good.
And a line shot to deep right field, and
No.
Bostic can't get it, and that could clear the bases. They're going to try to score them, and this game is tied. And actually, did they even? Let's wait,
Save.
wait.
Call them save at home. Wow.
You know, it looked like, first of all, the play went as a hit. I thought it might be caught in right field, but Blanton nailed a double, and then 2 runs scored easily. The third base runner did not bother to slide. I don't think he thought the throw was coming in, and it ended up being a close play, Harold.
Yeah, very close.
Now batting number
It's all of a sudden a game where Newark had control, folks. It's got a 4-4 game, and a runner on second with 2 outs here in the 7th inning.
That's a tough break for Newark and a tough break for their starting pitcher, Tidwell, who had worked so well for 5 innings.
It looked like Osterman or Ben Bostic was going to catch that ball, and all of a sudden it fell to the grass, and boy, the runners looked like a wheel of fortune. They were just wheeling around the bases.
But you had noted in our prior broadcast the Achilles heel for Newark in a number of their losses has been their fielding.
Mm-hmm.
And even though percentage-wise they're pretty close, pretty even with the rest of the league in terms of fielding average, sometimes it's not the number of errors, but when you get them.
Right.
In fact, Newark has 3, but that'll do it for the bottom of the 7th, but not before Cooperstown comes up with 3 runs to tie things up. So, through 7, it's all tied at 4.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Dave Barnick along with Harold Weber as we're we should have stood up right then. It's the 7th inning stretch, Harold.
Yep.
I thought you were going to do the Kate Smith. But tough half inning for Newark as Cooperstown got their 2 leadoff batters on, and then Wagner was able to get the next couple outs. Looked like he was going to get out of it, but he walked the batter to load him. And then the hit of the game for Cooperstown, the double by Blanton, driving in all 3 base runners, and we're tied at 4. And we'll see what Osterman can do about that. Or excuse me, Micah Easterling.
Yep. Easterling. And the lights have come on in the press box.
That helps. That helps.
You ask for lighting, and it's boom.
And Josh Anderson, I believe, still on the plate. He's a big guy. Let's see if we can find
let me
the
see.
numbers on Anderson. Is 6'7" as a bouncer to the second baseman. Easy out, 4-3. Yeah, from Murrieta, California. College is Cypress. Josh Anderson, like one of those big cypress trees at 6'7".
Right.
Boy, when he steps forward at the plate, that 60 foot 6 inches doesn't look too far away.
I know.
Now Osterman trying to get something going for the Reds. They've had tight games with Cooperstown.
It's amazing, like you mentioned earlier. Would they win 2 out of 3 so far, you said?
Yeah.
A team that is mired in last place. Newark, of course, with the record coming into tonight's game, 20-16. Cooperstown having a very tough year. 10-25, 10 up, 25 down.
All 3 of those games, by the way, were 1-run games as a chopper, shortstop, tough play. Couldn't get it. I think if they rule that an error, which they could, I think that's an unfair. They had to charge that high chopper. And they do rule that, in fact, on E6.
Colton Beatty.
Well, error or hit. Newark happy to get another runner on base. And Perez at the plate for the Pilots.
Perez, who got a little injury there coming to home plate on the out at home plate some time ago. Here's a bouncer.
Right through the middle, base hit. And stopping at second is Easterling, and clean single for Perez. Osterman.
Number 15,
Joe Landy up to the plate. So, first and second, only one out, Harold.
One, that's right. Joe now at the plate once again trying to break this tie. We've got a 4-4 game. Newark led 4-1, and then the Hawkeyes Never Say Die Cooperstown scored 3 at the top of the 7th, and here's Landy at the plate trying to plate the go-ahead run.
And
Pitches.
another high chopper. The second baseman gets it, and he'll throw him out. No, he
Safe.
throws it away. Safe. He pulled the first baseman off with his throw. I think he thought he had to hurry a little more than he needed to.
Yep.
As they say in football, that's a slow developing play.
Yep.
So the bases are now full of pilots. And I was just thinking, Harold, I wonder if one of the reasons we've slipped and said Reds is that the Cooperstown team wears the colors of the Newark Reds.
That's a good point, yeah. It's true.
But Doyle, with a chance to be the hero, he had the triple back in the 4th inning to drive in a run. And takes ball 1. So 1 out, bases juiced. Nice night here.
It is. Crowd will look quiet right now. I would expect them to get a little rhythmic applause going here for the Pilots.
And that could be through the hole. It is a base hit. And that'll give Newark the lead. And here comes the second runner, throw up the line. And they have the runner caught in a rundown. He's trying to stay alive and will run out of room, or does he? Well, there's two batters, 2 base runners for Newark on second base. So, nonetheless, 2-run score on that play. So, Chris Doyle, with his second big hit of the night, 2 RBIs on that one, 3 in the game, driving in Osterman and Perez.
So the Pilots have retaken the lead at 6-4. So they see the Hawkeyes of Cooperstown get 3 in the top of the 7th to get the game 4-4, and all of a sudden Newark says, hold on there, Buckaroo. They get 2 to take the lead again, 6-4, bottom of the 7th.
Pitch low and outside, ball 1. To Cash Barker. Sounds like a guest star on Dallas or something. You probably have caught the new Dallas show, have you?
I have. We love it. Have you seen it?
I have not.
It's a great show.
I miss Pam Ewing, though. I'll tell you that much. And
fair ball.
A fair ball down the right field line for a hit. That'll drive in a run.
Fair ball.
A stand-up double for the Cashman. I wonder what Ma Barker is thinking now. As Cash Barker laces the double right down the line.
Larry Hagman as JR is as evil as ever. So it's a good show. Myself and Mary enjoy that show, and we usually DVR it, and then we watch it usually on the weekends.
I'll tell you, it's so easy to get spoiled by the options available on TV, the DVR.
Oh, it's amazing.
And the leadoff hitter is up there again, Bostic, and fouls it straight back and out of play.
I'm old enough to remember 3, 5, and 9, David, when the first TV came out. 3, 5, and 9, and the Rabbit Ears.
I can remember just to catch a ball game, moving Rabbit Ears around to maybe get a stray game off a Buffalo channel or something like that.
I remember those days, and once in a while you get a channel, WHF, Channel 6, whatever that was back then. But I remember getting the aluminum foil, wrapping it on one of the ears to try to get better reception. Now you got 1,000 channels.
Well, my love affair with the Boston Celtics, I must have been 5, 6, 7 years old, catching Bob Cousy dribble behind his back on an Ovaltine commercial on a black and white TV when I lived in Cortland, New York as a kid. And faking the throw to second. Nobody there, however.
The Pilots have taken a lead again, 7-4. If you just joined us, you're on FingerLakes1.com. Dave Barnick making the call here, play-by-play. I'll join you for the last 2 innings. Harold Weber along with Dave, and let's go back to Dave.
Bostic trying to drive in the runner from second and a quick throw back for the pickoff attempt.
You know, Dave, I never could understand that play. Why bother? You got a 7-4 deficit. You should be working on getting Bostic out. Who cares what he does? I don't care if he orders the pizza and a sub back there.
I know one thing. Cash Barker's going to have to get that uniform washed because he's Mr. Dirt right now. Do you remember who was Mr. Dirt that played for the American League and He was a relief pitcher for the Yankees.
Mr. Dirt.
Maybe it was Dr. Dirt, but it was Dick Tidrow, I believe.
Dick Tidrow.
Remember him?
Uh-huh.
So the big guy on the mound wheels and strike 2 on Bostic. So again, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Bottom of the 7th, Newark has. The 7th inning has been the most eventful inning of this game and the last one, and this one not as eventful as that 21-run insanity from a week ago, as that ball is outside. Full count.
As our friend Jack Topologist would say, the conditions in Newark right now are beautiful. Beautiful. It's just perfect right now. Little breeze, sun is gone, bye-bye. It's a perfect night right now.
Maybe a tough year for the strawberries and corn, however.
Oh, God, I know.
That he's famous for. Laced in the center field, in the gap.
Oh,
that's going to go all the way to the wall.
And here he goes.
Let's see how far Bostic goes. He's going for third. And he'll stay there with a stand-up dribble and an RBI. Our second triple of the night. So Bostic stung that to one of the deeper parts of the outfield.
That's right. Just talking, Brian, this morning we were talking about him and Joe Laney having 1 triple apiece, and now Bostic has 2. So the bet has been recorded. There's still time for Joe, but Bostic is taking the lead on the triples. We were talking about their stats this morning on the program, and both of them had 1 triple coming into tonight's action, and Bostic now takes the lead at 2-1.
Faking the bunt, but called strike 1 on Crowdis.
Wow. I love the way Newark comes back, man. It's like, they get punched in the gut, and they say, timeout, we're coming back at you, and they just posted 4 more here in the bottom of the 7th.
Should Crowdis get on, Langston would be the next batter, and they will have batted around, and this one is a high pop to short left field. It's fielded there for out number 3. So an eventful 7th inning. 2 innings to go. Newark has vaulted back in front. They lead 8-4.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, as the dog clears his throat, I don't have plural throats. I have a single throat. Welcome back to Colburn Park in Newark. The dog, H. Weber, with you. I'll carry the play-by-play the next couple of innings, or at least the inning and a half. Newark has opened up an 8-4 lead through 7 innings here on a gorgeous night. It's turned out to be beautiful so far. Little breeze. Sun, thank God, is tucked away for the night. And we have a new pitcher in for the Newark Reds. And the likes of Derek Dallas is in. Derek Dallas is in pitching for Chris Ebright's Newark Pilots as we begin the 8th inning, as the likes of Cooperstown need to do some work in a hurry as they're trailing now by 4 runs. As we look at Derek Dallas, got a 2-1 record, ERA at 2.27. So he's been in 8 games thus far, as keep in mind, folks, Newark has played on a 48-game regular schedule. Newark has participated so far in a total of 36 games. They're 20-16. They're trying to move to 21-16. Keep in mind, 48 regular season games. Then they take the top 4 teams in the division at the end of the 48 games, and of course the number 1 seed Amsterdam appears is going to hold on to that. I think I'd be shell-shocked if they don't find a way to win the division. They've got a nice comfortable lead with a 6-game lead And they've got, going into tonight's action, they have a total of 13 games. That's a tough one to overcome. But I think Newark's goal would be to go for that second spot. Currently owned by Mohawk Valley. Mohawk Valley 21-14, 6 games out. Newark 7.5 out, so that's only a game and a half lead. And that's easily catchable. And the pitch is outside ball. So the ball is 2 balls, no strikes, just underway, top of the 8th. Newark leading 8-4 against the Hawkeyes of Cooperstown. As you follow the action here on FingerLakes1.com. Chris Marquardt, Jimmy Senacropi. I'm the Dog H. Weber along with David Barnick and Jeremy Hunt on scene here for Finger Lakes 1. Again, our final regular season broadcast will be the 29th of July, a Sunday night, a week from this Sunday. We'll be back to finish our regular coverage of an 8-game package. Elmira will be the opposition for Newark. Pitch is low, ball 3-1. Now with Derek Dallas on the mound, the thing that Newark would want to do is, I'm guessing Coach Ebright will definitely come out and tell Derek, get the ball across and let him hit it. You're leading by 4, so that means you got to get the bases loaded and hit one out of here, which is not an easy thing to do. So the thing that would drive a manager or a coach out of their minds is when you got a nice 4-run cushion, you don't want to put people on with free Christmas passes. And the pitch, high fly ball out to right field. Bostic underneath it, got it. 1 out in the top of the 8th. So we got an out here in the top of the 8th. 8-4 Newark leading. And again, a nice crowd. They're not even moving out of here. They're staying right where they are. Good turnout tonight. It's Mike Nizzolio night at the ballpark here in Newark. Mike's doing his thing in Auburn tomorrow night, swinging around the area. And it's nice that he does that. One thing that Mike and his team like to do is, here's another pitch and a pop-up going out. Now it's a lot deeper than I thought it would be. Out the left field, underneath, and got the catch and the out. So, running Chris Doyle out there in left field making the catch. So 2 outs quickly here in the top of the 8th. But Mike and his team always trying to help out the needy and the people that are not as good off as most people are, who are struggling to make ends meet. Struggling to find food to put on the table for their families, asking fans to bring perishable goods, and a lot of people showed up tonight with that kind of support. So that's a nice touch of class that Mike and his team do. And had a chance to see Mike's chief of staff tonight, Joan. She's always been very cooperative, and he has a whole bunch of people on his team that really have a nice, connection with the constituents, which of course Mike is concerned about everybody that he oversees, and it's in his political occupation, and it's not easy being a politician. Trust me, I think Mike would be the first to tell you that. 2 outs here in the top of the 8th. Newark leading 8-4, and the pitch, and it looked like it was a good pitch, and they called it a ball. So 2 balls, 1 strike, 2 outs. Top of the 8th. The Pilots got their game tied tonight, leading 4-1. Saw Cooperstown come back to put a scare in them at 4-4, but then they answered quickly at the bottom of the 7th to score 4 to get an 8-4 lead. That was a pitch right down the middle, and the count goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, top of the 8th. Jeff Cunyon was in the house tonight, the president of the Perfect Game Baseball League, and Jeff tries to, I'm sure, get around to see most of the ballparks, if not all of them, based on his schedule. It was nice to see him tonight. And, of course, the Omen spending some time down in Carolina most recently. And as Dave comes back, and there's a foul on the right side. Of course, sadness that Bob Omen's mom just passed away, I'm going to say week and a half ago. So we send out our condolences to Bob and to Leslie. They were just in Carolina for like a week and a half and just got home. Here's a bouncer towards short. Looks like an easy play. Crossed the diamond. Got him. Inning ended. End of 7.5. Newark leading 8-4 over Cooperstown. We'll come back with more after this.
Well, we're heading to the bottom of the eighth, 8-4 in Newark, and we just got a nice attendance count, Harold.
1975? That's a great year, 1975. Where were you in 1975, Dave?
I think I just had returned to the Seneca County area and started working after an auto accident forced me out of college, and my late wife, Patty, was graduated in 1975.
Did you call 444-4444?
I did not.
Oh, by the way, we make fun of that stupid commercial. It's on all the time. 444-4444.
The first baseman from South Mississippi.
The New York State Lottery has 3-number and 4-number picks every day at afternoon and evening. They call it the numbers game. The other night, David, the evening draw at 5 to 8. 444-4444. If you had that and you went with that lawyer commercial and went with the 4-4s, 5,000 big ones.
You did not have it, I presume.
I did not. No, I did not. But Mary was. I was in the sports center room. We call it the pits, and Mary was in the main room watching something, and she yelled out 4444. So, but as we go to the bottom of the eighth, 8-4 game in favor of the homestanding Newark Pilots. And at bat now, leading off for the Newark Pilots is a young man, Brent Langston. It was kind of funny about having Joe and Ben on the show this morning, the Dog and Polly on FingerLakes1.com, which we air every Wednesday between 9 and 10 o'clock, is they were kidding each other about number of triples. They each had one. And isn't it ironic, the very same evening of the broadcast, Ben gets one to take the lead 2-1. And triples are not easy to get, David. Not easy at all to get.
And we've had a couple, as you said, the big hits of the ball game.
The count goes to 3-1 against Brent Langston.
So it's nice the way Newark bounced back after they had the 4-1 lead, gave up the tying run to make it 4-4, and then quickly came back with 4 runs of their own in the bottom of the 7th.
3-1 against Langston, winding and throwing. Ball 4. So Langston gets a free pass. As the big strapping Josh Anderson wasn't too thrilled with the call. But normally the guys in blue usually have the last call. So, speaking of umpires, David, not to pick on them, but I think Major League Baseball this year has been the worst year for umpires that I can ever recall of the blown calls.
There's
terrible calls.
I listened to Buster Olney, and he's saying he's never seen more animosity between the players, managers, and the umpires.
But I mean, I have seen so blatantly ridiculous calls, and the first pitch is fouled back. At the plate right now is Mika Easterling with nobody out, bottom of the 8th, Newark leading by 4. But I'm Dave, seriously, calls that are being made that are just outlandish. I mean, first base, the guy touches the base, and it like a second goes by, and then they call him out. It's startling. What are these people looking at? I mean, I have to say, in all the years I watched baseball, 2012 has to be, the classic call, which I rambled on and went ballistic on my morning show on Mondays, is that call we'll talk about in a second. 0-1 count, man on first, pitches outside. The call by DeMurrell, whose father was an umpire for many, many years. Yankee game against Cleveland, I think it was, Dave.
Oh, in the stands?
Oh, my God, David, don't you look for the ball in the glove? Isn't that what you normally would look for if you were umpiring? Don't you look for the baseball in the glove to see if he caught it? That was wise, by the way, for the Yankees diving in. And the pitch is down the right field line, and I believe it's out of play. It is.
Not to change subjects, but both visually for us and on your TV screen, just a glorious backdrop to the sun setting. Just interesting purple hues.
Dave Barnick, a little National Geographic here. Kind of getting the background here, the setting.
Well, I did pick blueberries today, too, Harold, as I told you. And that's a fact.
It's a fact, Jack.
Yeah.
Yep.
Gotta eat something that's good for you.
I know.
Tomatoes and blueberries, 2 of the ones on the top 10, so at least I got that going for me.
Well, speaking of Jack, it'd be nice to catch up with Jack DiPolito. I know he's working very hard keeping his parents in check and doing a lot of good care for his mom and dad, which is very admirable. But it would be nice to see Jack again, and hopefully his schedule can work it out that he can join us during the winter months and maybe do a couple football games and maybe a couple basketball games. So, Jack, we had a lot of fun with Jack for many, many years. So now Josh Anderson, the big guy, Dave, you're talking about, the big strapping right-hander, finding himself in, what am I doing now? Throw the ball. You're down by 4, and all you're doing is you're going to bury yourself if you allow another one on. We got a 3-2 count with nobody out. A man on first for Newark. They're already leading by 4. LFM looking for more. Down the right side, a pop-up, and it's out of play.
I did not look to see who Cooperstown plays tomorrow night, but I would think that's quite a long evening of travel they have ahead of them back home.
These kids, I mean, they get home 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. Chris, they got to feed them afterwards. You know, the home team is responsible for feeding the visiting team, Bob Ullman told me.
Well, I'm glad I locked my car with the popcorn in it.
At home?
Nice crowd, almost 2,000 people here on Mike Nazzolio night sponsoring this event.
So, Dave, to your point. Oh.
And strike 3, recording the first out on a K. So 1 out, 1 on. And Osterman.
Wow. Well, Dave, we just found out from our friends here to our left here, they're working the broadcast booth. Cooperstown has to go to Oneonta tomorrow night, so you're right, David. A very tough schedule. But back on that, we got 2 runners on by the. Let's see. Excuse me, I apologize. 1 out in the bottom of the 8th for Newark, leading 8-4, and the pitch. Bounce toward. This could be 2. 1 out. Double play. Nice double play turned over by the Hawkeyes of Cooperstown, trailing by 4. They needed it, baby. Down by 4. Newark leading 8-4. We're through 8 innings. We'll come back, put a wrap on this, baby. Another inning to go. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the 9th inning. 8-4 Newark leading this one. The Newark Reds bring in Mark Scott as their pitcher. Mark Scott is name, and we're going to give you statistics. 0-1 with an ERA of 3.06. Been in 9 games. So Mark Scott is the pitcher trying to douse these last 3 outs so they can put a golden wrap on this one, Dave.
I'd like to try to entice you to sing along with Neil Diamond here in the background.
That ain't going to happen.
I like the song, even though it's used at the Red Sox games.
That ain't going to happen. Dog, and my wife can vouch for this. Dog, I don't know if I have any talent, but I know one talent I don't have, and that is to carry a note. Even though, I must tell you, David, years ago, my wife Mary, on the arterial going to Geneva, New York, Frank Sinatra's song was being played on the radio, and she said, David, quote unquote, that your voice sounds just like Frank. True story.
She was starstruck.
No, I'm telling you, she said that, and that's the only time she's ever said that.
How many years ago?
Long time ago. We've been together 46 years of marital bliss. I've known her for 2 years before then, so we've been together for 48 years.
Hey,
she's got a fast track to heaven, David.
Taking another look nostalgic-wise.
Yep.
You may have noticed this performing, I think, this Saturday night at Club 86.
Wilmer.
The Echo Men.
Oh, the Echo Men. I thought you were going to say Wilmer Alexander.
No, but
Echo Men.
I saw that, the Thursday night feature.
Yep.
in the newspaper.
Ty Morris begins the top of the ninth, trailing by 4, and the young man, Mark Scott's role is to get the ball across the plate and let him hit it somewhere. Don't put anybody on the base with a freebie. As Morris begins the top of the ninth, they need a rally at the Cooperstown. This one right down the pipe, and this young man throws it hard, Dave.
He does, and it looks like he's all about business.
Well, it's kind of like Soriano for the Yankees. Of course, his trademark after a save, taking the jersey out of his pants. The very first thing he does when a save is recorded. So that's something that's unique with Mr. Soriano. The count is 2 balls, a strike. Newark leading by 4. Pitches bounce towards short. Going to be a tough play. And I don't see any chance of getting him. No way, Jose. As Morris will beat out an infield hit. Nothing could be done. Nothing could be finer than the girls from Carolina. But that one went by the pitcher's mound. It had 0 chance of getting thrown over to first base in time, because Mr. Morris can hoof it out pretty good.
Well, the key for Newark is not be overly concerned with the base runner at first.
Exactly.
Just focus on the batter. You have a 4-run lead, top of the ninth.
Kyle Liner is up now, looking to build some runs and trying to build some people on base to get those runs, as that pitch was just outside for a ball.
I will say that was a classy double play to end the
that was neat.
top half of the inning.
Pitch is going to be another ball, and Scott now goes to 2-0. And we don't want to get ourselves into an Excedrin headache atmosphere here where you give a couple of passes either. You don't want to get to that, allow these Cooperstown Hawkeyes to think they can come back from 4 down at the top of the ninth, and the pitch is outside, ball 3. Dave Barnick showing some sweat on his palms, wondering what's going to happen if he was the coach here. He might be running out telling the pitcher, get it over the plate.
Yeah, I'm thinking about that popcorn. I committed a cardinal sin, however. I did not get involved with a 50-50.
3-0 pitch, ball 4 balls in a row, and Scott now, here comes the coach. I had a feeling he'd be giving a little tippy toe out to the mound, Chris Ebright, who no doubt will echo what I just said. Mark, throw it over the plate. Runners on first and second, nobody out of the top of the ninth. Cooperstown trailing David by 4. That's got to just rip these managers and coaches. In this league, they're called coaches, and obviously the other leagues are called managers. Got to drive you nuts, Dave. Throw it over the plate. Let him hit it.
Yeah, you wonder if that's Morris, right, pitching? Mark Scott.
Mark Scott.
But you kind of wonder, was he squeezing the ball a little too tight after that first runner got on? Just relax, do what you know to do, throw strikes, and let's see what happens. Go from there.
British Columbia, Canada. Tonight's designated hitters.
Oh, Canada.
Steve Canborg.
Stephen Canborg.
From Canada.
I might sing a couple bars of that. I love that national anthem.
That is a nice song.
It is a great national anthem. Yeah. All right, 2 runners on, nobody out, trailing by 4. Cooperstown trying to put a little rally here, spoil the home crowd, and the pitch is inside for a ball, and Scott wanted that one. He didn't get it.
Close.
And I can assure you that if he were to give another free pass, he might be hitting the hardwood and adios amigo, because I don't think Ebright's going to tolerate if he walks this guy. So we'll see. As Canborg takes a strike. Finally, we got a strike across from the young man, Scott, as he's trying to hold on to a 4-run lead, as he's making it interesting here in the top of the ninth into Chris Ebright. It's probably getting too interesting as the pitch comes down. It's strike 2. Now, those were 2 drilled pitches on the outside of the strike zone. Again, the crowd is still very nice and a nice attendance. 1,975 people tonight coming out on Mike Nazzola night. And the pitch, this could be 2. He booted the ball. An error on the shortstop. But everybody is safe. The bags are loaded. So
what were we just saying, Harold? Let's get at least the sure out.
Batting number 20, the shortstop.
So Josh Crowdis just had an easy grounder. Could have had an easy force play at second and just booted the ball. There's nothing else you can say. So now, ladies and gentlemen, get out that Excedrin bottle. Get out that Advil, because, baby, we got the bags loaded, nobody out, trailing by 4, and the Hawkeyes, want to split the odds of the Newark Pilots and send their crowd home disappointed as they're down by 4, and they have the situation. Got a strike, and that was a that was probably a favorable call. Looked outside from my vantage point. So 0-1, bases loaded, nobody out. Cooperstown down by 4. 0-1 pitch, Scott delivers. Strike 2.
Vanderglass 1 for 2 on the night with a base on ball and a single, and he scored twice.
As Colton Beatty digs in with a count 0-2, nobody out. Newark leading by 4, pitches, line drive, base hit. That'll plate at least a couple. As Phil Rizzuto would say, holy cow. As it would appear, as the lead now has shrunk from an 8-4 now, we have an 8-5 as just one run came in on that base knock to center field. And, David, they're making it too interesting for the Newark Pilots.
Sure are. Hopefully Scott can settle down. And when he wasn't throwing strikes, he was walking batters. And when he did throw strikes, his fielders have let him down.
Chris Blanton to the plate, and the pitch. Looked right down the middle. He didn't get the call for the strike, so the umpire at home kind of doing don't know what he's going to call from pitch to pitch. That one looked like a good pitch, but he called it a ball. So the count is 1-0, and this game is turning not in a good direction. It is 1-1, a good strike call. Base is still loaded. Lead only 3, and the Pilots need to play some D and get the pitcher to throw the ball into some key situations here. As the palms begin to get a little sweaty right now, as the 1-1 pitch is strike 2. Favorable call, 1-2. But, Dave, that was the situation a minute ago, and then the base knock. So Scott now digging down deep, trying to hold on to a 3-run lead, but he's got the bases loaded. And Cooperstown, the pitch is bounced towards second. This should be an out. And there's a boot. I don't believe it. Booted by the second baseman. Runs are coming in like it's Rotary Day. 8-7.
It's not the carp derby.
No. Dave, I thought we'd seen everything in this game of baseball, but who would have thunk of it?
We had the car started, didn't we?
We were halfway home. It was amazing. 8-4 lead. They bring in their stopper, Scott, and it's been nothing but a comedy of errors. That one there, an easy bouncer to the second baseman, and all of a sudden it was just booted by Josh Perez. There's no excuses. Josh would be the first to tell you. I think I could have made that play, and unfortunately he booted it. So what have we got here? Another wild finish, and now it's 8-7, only down by a run. Runners first and third. Still, Dave, nobody out.
Newark may win this game, Harold, but they had 5 errors so far, and tough to win a game with 5 errors. Cooperstown's had 3 so far, but I think that's 3 errors in this half inning.
I think so. Well, I'll tell you what. If you're entitling and writing a book and going to be in the Newark department stores tomorrow, pitches inside for a ball. Still nobody out. Cooperstown has come back from an 8-4 deficit to make it 8-7. There's still nobody out. Runners on first and third. And to be very honest with you, things don't look too good for the Pilots right now. Way inside, almost hit them. So, David, anything that's been going wrong could happen. Is certainly happening here in the top of the ninth. Unbelievable. And, you know, Scott has not pitched very effectively. He's allowed people to come on with free pass. There's one down the middle.
He should have been out of this inning, though. The fielding has just let him down. You had a double play ball that was booted. You had a simple 4-3.
Jacob Hubert at the plate for Cooperstown, and the pitch is swung out and missed. So the count now goes to 2 balls, 2 strikes. Still nobody out. You know, we talk about Newark, and granted, the foul up by the shortstop and Josh misplaying that grounder. And when it comes to grounders, that was one of the easy variety. Here's the pitch, and it's hit the deep left field. Way back. It is over the head. All the way to the wall. We got ourselves an unbelievable turnabout. Runners second and third. Can you say tie game at 8-8? Unbelievable. Wow, nobody out. Runners on second and third. What a fortune change here tonight in Newark. 8-4 lead, and all of a sudden, Cooperstown from nowhere, thanks to some shoddy fielding and some tough pitching and not very effective at the beginning of the inning, by pitcher Mark Scott. David, it's just the roof is caved in. 8-8 with runners on second and third. Still nobody out.
That one was a no-doubter as it was nailed well over. The left fielder was playing in a little bit to try to prevent a sac fly should he got one, but it was nailed over his head. And now Newark will again try to stop the bleeding and win it in the bottom of the ninth. But
Dave, we talked about them, Eamon. Of course, this thing's not over. We all know about baseball. Newark could get up in the bottom of the ninth and score 6 runs to win this thing. The rate they're going defensively, they're going to probably need a rally because Cooperstown's got runners on second and third. We got a tie game, and the fortunes of Newark have turned sour. And again, it's a combination. Mark Scott has been off early in the inning, and then there were a couple of fielding errors that really hurt him. So Quinn Pippin is up now, and the pitch is a strike. Unbelievable comeback, excuse me, by Cooperstown. I really thought that Newark was going to nail this thing down, and we would be saying adios amigo as Newark would contend, and now they're in a dogfight. Pitch is way up high, 1-1.
Pressing a little bit again, and another tough situation. They're trying to hold those runners at second and third, and the infield playing way in. It makes sense, but remember, too, that we have a very hard infield.
Pitch is high, 2-1. So, you just never know. That's the beauty of baseball. A lot of people don't like the slowness of the game. I'm probably in that side of the category. I think the game is too slow. But you never know. You just never, till the last out, and the pitch swung on, and he was going for the yard, baby. He was trying to whack that baby, the Lions.
But that was a good pitch. Hard, knee-high, tough one to hit.
2 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Top of the ninth, Cooperstown Hawkeyes have hawked their way back in this one, tying it up at 8. Couple of 8s on the board, and it seems like every time Finger Lakes 1 comes over here, it never becomes boring. There's always excitement to the end. Here's the pitch, is fouled back.
And the third base coach thought better of feeling that hot smash down the line as he put his hand up and quickly.
And Dave Barnick earlier said, I was impressed how fast this game is going. Now we've reached the neutral zone. We're in the top of the ninth. And I'm definitely going to miss Piers Morgan tonight. All right, 2 balls, 2 strikes. The set and the pitch swung on, just barely staying alive.
There's that Bee Gees call again.
There you go. One of the all-time classic groups. Great music. So on Mike Nizzolio night here in Colburn Park, a game that has taken some wild turns, where Newark led it 4-1. Cooperstown came back and tied it up 4-4. And the pitch swung on. There's a gift, and a strikeout is recorded. The batter is complaining, Pippin, about that being ticked by his bat. The umpire does not agree, so we have 1 out recorded. So Pippin is struck out. Tyler Mottner up now. Again, runners second, third, 1 out. The go-ahead run at third base with less than 2 out, and they're going to put Mottner on to load the bases. And they almost threw that in a hot dog stand. As Mottner now will be intentionally passed. So it's been a combination, like a combo platter at a restaurant. Mark Scott starting off a little shaky at the top of the ninth. Could not find home plate, David. Then, of course, a couple of bouncers like you talked about. Easy out at second on a shortstop play. That was screwed up, and then the second baseman made him. Josh Perez made an error. I'm sure he feels bad about it, but that was an easy play, and all of a sudden you get these runners in position.
Yeah, a couple errors and a couple of walks.
That's it. That's all it takes.
You give teams extra outs, and it usually costs you.
Vanderglass is up with the bases loaded. Game tied at 8. As Scott now. And the pitch, strike 1.
He has scored 3 times and has an RBI single in the 5th inning. So he's had a good night. 2 hits, a walk.
0-1 pitch is swung on, bounced towards short, dropped by the shortstop. Everybody's safe. Cooperstown takes the lead. the good, the bad, and the ugly, David. We've seen it all here, and all of a sudden, Cooperstown has rallied from 4 down to take a 9-8 lead, and still with only 1 out in the top of the ninth.
And he hit the daily double on that. That's his second error of the inning. I think his hopes was to make the spectacular play and get a doubleheader. It was a tricky short hop, but then he didn't field that cleanly. He could have got one, would have allowed the go-ahead run in, but instead, no outs on that play.
Ty Morris at the plate, swings and misses. So Newark had an 8-4 lead, and now they're trailing by 1, 9-8. As Cooperstown puts a 5 spot on them, and there's still only 1 out with runners on all the base pads. Still bases loaded. And the pitch, low. 1-1 to count. Top of the ninth, and a wild and bizarre one. It seems like every time we bring our microphones and computers here, something bizarre happens, and tonight is no exception. Last week we saw the 21-run 7th inning against Amsterdam. And tonight, and there's a wild pitch coming in for another run, and it's going to score. Coming in is Jacob Hubert. And now, all of a sudden, David, the glass ceiling is starting to show cracks for the Pilots, and it's too bad.
6 runs. I think that was Morris' second plate appearance this inning. 10th batter. So last week it was a wild and woolly 7th inning. Not that tonight's was dull with 7 runs scored, but we'll see what Newark does when they get up.
When. That's the key word right now. As the pitch, strike. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Runners on second and third, still only 1 out. Seems like it's been 1 out for an hour, as Cooperstown has scored 6 runs here in the top of the ninth to take a 2-run lead. Swing and a miss, and we finally got a second out for the Pilots. And now, I guess, David, Newark's never say die attitude. Wouldn't be at all surprised if they get out of this inning without any more harm. They come up and score 3 in the bottom of the ninth. But if not, this one would be a tough one, David, to sleep on tonight.
That indeed, Harold. And it shortens the bus ride for Cooperstown if they hang on.
And the pitch is a strike. So, there are some games you get bombed out and you're never in the hunt, you lose. And there are games you come from behind and win. There are games where you think you got it and you don't have it. And I guess tonight was one of those games. I thought they had pretty good control. I mean, nothing against Cooperstown, but they are marred in last place. Winners of only 10 games, losing 25. So it isn't like they're beating up too many people, too many nights. And when you have a 4-run lead on them at home, you kind of think, David, you can do the good morning, good afternoon, good night scenario.
Might be another reason why the people getting rich in Vegas are the bookmakers, because
right.
Newark had won 5 in a row. They're
Exactly.
at home.
That's what happens. But again, it's early. Newark still got an at-bat, so we don't want to, as Bob Prince, my former idol, listening to him do baseball games as a Pittsburgh Pirate broadcaster, and this obviously is going to be appropriate. And we'll get to that in a second. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 out. Cooperstown has come on like gangbusters here in the top of the ninth, scoring 6 so far, leading 10-8 with runners on second and third. Prince had a classic line, trailing by 1, going to the 8th, a bloop and a blast we need with the Buckaroos way back when. That was his favorite line. We need a bloop and a blast.
And I have to ask you, Harold, searching the cavity of my brain deep, was that KMOX?
KMOX. Yes, it was.
Pittsburgh.
And the pitch. Ooh, close. And Scott wanted that one.
And this is the number 9 batter, so you want to get this over with here and now and not face the top of the order.
Kyle Liner, right. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, and the pitch way inside, and the bags are still loaded. So it just continues to be a tough top of the ninth for the Pilots, who here on Mike Nizzoli night had almost 2,000 people in the stands, and a nice crowd still on hand here tonight. But a tough turnabout of affairs here as the Pilots, leading by some 4 runs, going to the ninth, find the Cooperstown last place Cooperstown Hawkeyes coming back to lead by 2 at this stage, and the bases are loaded with 2 outs, and they're still at bat. Scott deals, swing and a miss. Stephen Canborg is back at the plate. It seems like a lot of people have been up a lot this inning. As Canborg will dig in with the bases loaded, and he fouls it off, so it's 0-2.
Well, that little infield single to start things off seemed pretty innocent way back when, 12 batters ago, when it was still a 4-run lead for Newark.
0-2, 2 outs, and the pitch swung on down the left field line, and it's going to fall harmlessly foul.
And that ball bounced a good 8 feet in the air after it hit the hard foul territory turf.
So quite a turnabout. If you just joined us here on FingerLakes1.com, you missed quite an inning here on the top of the ninth. Newark leading by 4, 8-4. Looked like they had this baby in hand, but Cooperstown has come back with 6 here to take a 2-run lead at 10-8. And the bases are still loaded. They're trying to add more. And the pitch, way up there, almost another wild pitch, Dave.
Now you get to the point with this wildness. Can you afford to leave this pitcher in if he walks him for any more batters?
Can't imagine it. I'm actually surprised that Chris hasn't made a change to this point. 1 ball, 2 strike, and the pitch. Swung out and missed, and finally the top of the ninth is over. 6 runs in the top of the ninth. Newark coming up, trying to bring one home for the crowd. They got to come from behind, trailing 10-8 with 1 more at bat.
Hi, my name is Jackie, and I think FingerLakes1.com is a great website. You can find all the videos, and you can find the podcast. So have a great time.
So many sights to see on the internet, but for everything local, there's one place you can get it. At FingerLakes1.com. Come on over to FingerLakes1.com. Make us your homepage. News, weather, sports, and fun. Log on to FingerLakes1. www.fingerlakes1.com. Come on and join the fun. Log on to FingerLakes1.
Well, every time he's putting his rally cap on. Every time we come to Newark to do a webcast, there's always something phenomenally exciting, bizarre. And tonight, folks, no exception. As the Pilots were leading 4-1, Cooperstown came back and tied it 4-4. But then, of course, Newark says goodbye. They get ahead 8-4 going to the top of the ninth. And guess what? Cooperstown adds 6 runs in the top of the ninth to take a 10-8 lead. David, now it's time to put up or shut up.
And I got a feeling they're going to make something happen. And it doesn't matter how you get on base, hit by a pitch,
Right.
or walk, by error, or, of course, a base hit. Perez leading the team in batting right now is a good guy for them to lead off and try to come back.
Well, a big strapping Josh Anderson, Cooperstown only winning 10 so far. This is like the World Series for them winning a game. And here's the first pitch, hit high in the air, foul. As he has an 0-1 count. Josh is a strapping young man. You said he, what, 6'6", 6'7", David?
6'7" listed.
Big guy.
Our, roster from California dreaming.
So 10-8, Cooperstown trying to pull off the upset after trailing by 4, going to the top of the ninth. As Perez will try to get something going, something cooking on the stove for the Pilots, and a pitch swung on, foul back against the screen. 0-2.
Yeah, that's kind of tough, trailing in the bottom of the ninth by 2, and you're leading off and quickly in a hole 0-2.
Perez, Landy, and Doyle will be up for the Pilots. Of course, you want somebody to be up. These are good 3 to be up there. As Perez now, we're looking at the big strapping right-hander from Cooperstown as Josh Anderson winds and throws. Close.
Yeah.
Very close. David and myself both looked for that arm to be spinning
Yep,
out.
Exactly. I thought the way the ump moved, he was just about to do it, but perhaps a bit outside.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Newark down by a deuce. Need a little bit of a rally going. And the pitch. High. 2-2.
Okay, the count shifts over, evens up. 2 runs down. They haven't trailed all night.
That's right. That's right. So Perez digging in against the big strapping Anderson for Cooperstown. They've come from behind, leading by 2 now. And the pitch swung on. Hit into right field. Base hit, Perez. Here we go for the Pilots as Josh Perez starts to set the table. What do you do when you set the table? You put out the little fine silverware, and the first piece of silverware is standing on first base. Now, a big fan favorite here in Newark, gentleman who we had on our show this morning, Joe Landy from Rhode Island stepping in.
Nice night for Perez. 3 out of 4, so his average will go up a few points, already leading the team.
So Anderson now looking at a runner down by 2. Landy at the plate. Anderson throws outside for a ball.
Now, when Scott was pitching, once that leadoff batter got on, he seemed to lose a little bit of his control and focus. Let's see if the big guy in the mound for Cooperstown can keep his poise.
Throw over to first base, and Perez is back. Now, Perez doesn't want to do anything stupid here and get picked off. There's no need to make anything brave. Stay on first base, see what Joe Landy can do. And I think I'd be surprised if he tries to steal, because I don't see the winning in that when you're down by 2. Here's a bouncer back to pitcher. 1 out. Double play. What a play by the pitcher, Dave Barnick, as it was a shot by Landy back to the pitcher. Anderson throws to second. 1 out. Back to first. Nips him at first. An outstanding double play.
You know, Landy hit the ball hard, and the pitcher, despite his size and good fielding position, not only fielded it correctly. How many times, in fact, I watched that reliever for the Yankees throw one in the outfield the other night.
Yeah.
And he started the 1-6-3 double play, and that may send some folks to the turnstiles.
And Doyle now will take a ball. So Chris Doyle, as Landy hit it hard, but Anderson caught it, turned, wheeled, threw it to second. 1 out, over to first, just nipped Joe. Enters the double play. And all of a sudden, from what started off to be a mini rally, is now 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th, trailing by a deuce. Pitch to Doyle, swung on, foul off down the right side into the area where there's picnic tables over there. Jim Senecropi and the boys were having their trash plates there tonight. They're into those trash plates, David. And I know you've looked at them. I know you haven't had one.
No, I had one last game. Not tonight, though.
How was it? Pretty good?
It was good. I shared last week, though.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, 1-1 pitch, 2 out, bottom of the 9th, and the pitch is outside.
Hard to believe that Newark is 1 out away from going to 1-3 against
last place Cooperstown. That is amazing. Leave it to Dave to come up with those stats. That is pretty amazing when you consider they've won 10 games. This, if they hang on, this will be their 11th. And what you're saying is that 3 out of the 11 is against Newark.
Yeah.
Pitch is looped into right field. Gonna drop. And it got by the right fielder. Doyle heading for second. Heading for third. And he will stop at the Walmart Express at third. All the way to third. Never say die, Newark.
Nice hit. Great heads-up running by Doyle. But how big was that double play?
Huge. Billy Facillo. Huge. Third base now. Doyle gets a base knock to right. The right fielder for the likes of Cooperstown tried to make a diving play. That was Chris Blanton, and it went through his glove, rolled all the way to the wall to the Bob Oak sign, and Doyle rambled to third base. So he's on third with 2 outs, trailing by a deuce. And the pitch to Barker.
He doubled the last time up, Harold.
Well,
So
double
first-
your pleasure, double your fun, as Barker takes a strike. So we got a guy on third for the Pilots. And we've got Chris Doyle at third, looking for some help from Cass Barker, looking at an 0-1 count. Can the Pilots continue to rally? Here's a bouncer towards short. Should be an easy play. It is. Game, set, match. Good morning, good afternoon, good night. A tough one for the Newark Pilots. We'll wrap it up on our post-game show after we take a break.
They're the defending champions. They're the team everybody wants to see. And they're back. The Newark Pilots. The 2011 champs of the All-Wood Perfect Game League put their title on the line in 2012. And season tickets are available now. Come out to the incredible Colburn Park for a new season of Pilots baseball and new memories for the whole family. It's a true family value. The Newark Pilots. See tomorrow's Major League stars today. For more information, go to newarkpilots.com.
Well, welcome back, everybody. The Dog H. Weber here at the broadcast vantage point above Colburn Park, along with Dave Barnick, Chris Marquardt, Jimmy Senecropi, and Jeremy Hunt. Our broadcast team has seen quite an interesting ball game tonight. Newark coming in tonight's ball game, trailing second place Mohawk Valley by a game and a half, 7.5 out, trailing Amsterdam, the leaders. And, you know, the game was nip and tuck, and they took a 4-1 lead, 4-1, and Cooperstown found a way to get back to 4-4. Newark scores 4 runs on the bottom of the 7th to take what appeared, from our vantage point, a pretty good lead, 8-4. Got to the top of the 9th, and, you know, Newark has everything to play for. Cooperstown has, except for pride, not much to play for. They're mired in last place. It appears they need a miracle to come out of last. So they found a way to take an 8-4 lead, and all of a sudden, as Dave pointed out, and we tried to express it over the airwaves, a couple of base hits, a couple of walks, and all of a sudden you put people on base. It's dangerous. And lo and behold, they saw the likes of Cooperstown put 6 up on them in the top of the 9th to take a 10-8 lead. And, David, that was a good double play in the bottom of the 9th. So, they're good wins, they're bad. There's never a bad win. Good wins and bad losses tonight, David. I think this is a capital B, capital L for a huge, big loss to the Cooperstown team.
And the Hawkeyes get a rare winning streak started with 2 in a row. But guess what? They had one other 2-game winning streak earlier in the year. It was against the Newark Pilots. The Pilots now fall, instead of winning their season best 6th in a row, they fall to 20-17, 19-14 against the rest of the league, 1-3 against Cooperstown. Cooperstown 8-24 against the rest of the league, but 3-1 against the Pilots. And again, it looked secure. And even after the opening base runner got on in the top of the 9th, we didn't think too much of it at the time. Scott, fresh pitcher, threw hard. But between some erratic pitching by him and some even more erratic fielding by his teammates, that was all she wrote. And I had a feeling the Pilots would rally in the bottom of the 9th. Got a clean hit by Perez to start things off, but the double play was a killer. And then securing the high hopper at short to end the game. And that'll do it.
That'll do it. So
Newark falls, and they'll be back in action again probably tomorrow night is my guess. And they lose 10-8. We want to thank everybody associated, as always, unless something develops. My final broadcast from Newark, and I've enjoyed it. I got to meet Bob Ullman, great guy, and on Senator Mike Nozzolio night. They had the win secured, we thought, but it's never over till it's over. So, final score from Newark, the Cooperstown Hawkeyes 10, coming from behind, and the Newark Pilots 8. Speaking for our entire crew of Chris Marquardt, Jeremy Hunt, our station owner Jim Senecropi, and my broadcast partner Harold Weber, this is Dave Barnick saying good evening, everybody, and may the force be with you.